Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Good morning. Happy Monday to you, Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen. Early break. Full show ahead. Lots to get to. The football season is officially over, but it ends on a win in Iowa City against the Hawkeyes. Don't forget, that did happen.
I know.
That did happen on Friday, although all this news is followed, and we'll get to that as the majority of the show. But Nebraska did beat Iowa 24-17 in Iowa City on Friday to end their season at 4-8 and end a 7-game losing skid to the Hawkeyes. But quickly after that, Sip on Saturday morning, Nebraska officially names Matt Rhule as their next head coach. Press conference today at 1:30. We will both be there. I'm going to be there. Yeah, I'm going today. I will be there today. Look, I'm already
clean up a little bit.
I'm representing. Yeah, I'll clean up, shave, put a little gel in the hair. That's still up there.
You know, you do? A little gel.
A little paste. It's paste.
Oh, paste.
I'll paste the hair.
Man, I should get some.
What
paste.
little hair that I have, I will paste it.
Yeah, we're in the same ballpark. Are we in the same ballpark?
Well, it's more understandable for you in your upper 50s. I'm 31.
Upper 50s. Is that what I am?
It's a compliment.
56.
Like, we have the same amount of hair. I'm 31, and you're 56.
Upper.
So
Mark is here.
Yeah, I told Mark to come in today because I knew, and we both knew we'd have a lot of phone calls today. I need some help when we have a lot of phone calls, because today people have thoughts on their mind, probably about the game, some, but mostly about the next generation of Nebraska football, which will be led by Matt Rhule, the former Panthers head coach, former Baylor head coach, former Temple head coach. It was a rumor for several weeks. We thought it was shot down about a week and a half ago. Then it comes back to life about Tuesday, Wednesday last week, and lo and behold, Nebraska names their head coach about 9:30 a.m. at 9 a.m. Saturday morning. Officially will be announced today at a press conference.
Where do we start?
Where do you start?
Well, I would start here. Nebraska, you would say, is not good at hiring coaches, right?
They've had some problems.
Yeah, they're not. They have not been good. Now, this hire has been met with a lot of mixed reaction, right?
Yes.
I think that this hire makes sense in a lot of ways. I am not going to just merrily sign off on it.
Okay.
Like I've tended to do.
Good.
Like you kind of tend to do, because you get swept up. And if you're a Nebraska fan and you don't like the hire, what do you do? Are you not going to support the program?
You're going to support the program. You can complain about it and moan, but you will support the program.
You did get a big-time coach, what I would call a big-time coach, a guy that has guided, I like to say, big ships through rocky waters. Temple's a pretty big ship. It's big enough. It'd be too big for a lot of people to guide, right? Look at the phone lines. It'd be too big for a lot of people. Baylor's a legit big ship, and the Carolina Panthers are a legit big ship. So he's done that. And I don't know. We can get into this. I want to hear what you have to say about it. I do. I'm really interested. We haven't really talked about what you think about this hire. We have not talked about
this much, yeah.
I like that element of it, and we'll get to this. He does. If you go back, which I did yesterday, to September 11th, when Trev Alberts had his press conference to fire Frost, he talked about a lot of the things he would be looking for in a head coach. And if you go back and listen to it, Rhule checks those boxes. I mean, Trev was very transparent in what he wanted. And if you look at it, if you go back, and we'll talk about it as we go. Oh, yeah. We'll talk about it as we go. Rhule, 47-year-old Matt Rhule, checks a lot of those boxes.
He does. I mean, Trev wanted a guy with experience as a head coach, right? He wanted a head coach with experience. Now, people would say, Well, if you were in the Mickey Joseph camp, you'd say, well, he had 8 games. I would say, is that enough games for Mickey Joseph?
Yeah.
Or 9 games for Mickey Joseph, excuse me.
The Mickey Joseph camp, yes.
But
talk about that.
But Matt Rhule, okay, we'll get to that more of Mickey Joseph as the show goes on. But Matt Rhule checks the boxes that Trev Alberts wanted. He's a guy that he went on College game day on Saturday morning and said, we're going to fortify the trenches. We want to have the trenches be a big part of Nebraska football. And that, to many people, as it should, brought a big smile to their face, perked them up a little bit about Matt Rhule.
Yeah.
Now, the problem, as we have I laid out regarding Matt Rhule in the weeks.
Problem?
I don't know if it's that big of a problem anymore, but we discussed on these airwaves several times. I asked the question, how motivated is Matt Rhule to coach?
I'm not worried about that.
At this point, the buyout's going to be mostly covered by Nebraska from Carolina, right?
Yeah, I'm not. I've never been too worried about
the numbers. 8 years, $9 million per year is what's being told about Matt Rhule. $72 million total.
Ian Rappaport.
Yes,
Ian Rappaport. You probably have more background on.
He's
Ian.
an NFL reporter.
Yeah, because I don't.
For NFL Network.
So Ian Rappaport reported yesterday morning the figure 8 years, $9 million per year. 8 million, 9 million per year. It's a big number.
It is. It's huge. It's in the upper tier of all of college coaches.
That's what I guess that's the going rate. Mark Stoops,
$9
million. And I think we were right last year. When Tucker got his big raise at Michigan State over the summertime?
Yeah.
And we said that's going to affect the market. It has.
Yeah.
It has. I mean, because if you're an agent now, you go to ADs and university presidents and chancellors and say, now the guy Mel Tucker at Michigan State is making $9.5 million a year, and he hasn't done much. In fact, they're not
missed a bowl game this year.
In fact, Michigan State not going to a bowl game.
Yep.
We said that would affect the market. There's no doubt it has. In fact, if I were Rhule's agent or Stoops' agent, I say, hey, my guy's done more than that guy. My guy's done more now. I mean, I'm just gonna say straight up our resume, we've done more. Why are we not making that? Well, now they are. Basically.
Well, and I'm curious, we can do this more in the next segment, but I'm curious with Fickell. I mean, Luke Fickell was coach of the year last year.
Bargain.
And did they get him at $6 million?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's what they're talking about.
Said they're going for $6 million. Said he was making $5.5 at Cincinnati.
505.
Okay.
5.05.
Do you think he would really leap for only $1 million more per year in this market?
I'd be really surprised.
Or we just said that Mark Stoops set the market for this year. Tucker said it last year. Rhule's at $9 million. I mean, if Nebraska fans find out that Fickell is going to Wisconsin for $6 million, they're going to freak out.
No, they shouldn't though.
They shouldn't, but they will.
They shouldn't
Can't
freak
pause
out
them from that.
No, and some will.
Yeah,
Jake. Not all will. Because why? Why freak out?
Well, I think
It's not
of
your money.
I know, but here's the deal. It's comparison of coaches. So a lot of people would say that Fickell's a better coach. No, I don't know if I'd say that off the bat.
I don't. And now we don't need to get in a protracted argument about what Fickell's going to make because we don't even know.
We don't know the number. We know what Wisconsin would like to pay him from reports.
We saw reports, yeah. The Fickell thing, by the way, basically came out of left field.
I didn't see that coming.
No, nobody did. Nobody the Wisconsin media didn't see it coming. I'll tell you that. Jeff Patrikas, our friend from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, has been, it's just a matter of time. It's Jim Leonhard's job. It's Jimmy Leonhard's job. Jimmy Leonhard, by the way, okay, if you think your life is going poorly and you're having you're set for a bad Monday, think about Jim Leonhard right now. And I can tell you, because I talked to Patrikas,
okay,
Jim Leonhard is devastated. Jim Leonhard got kicked in the balls. Okay, yesterday.
That sucks.
He did. I'm sorry about the language, but he did. He's beloved in Wisconsin. That's a beloved favorite son who had designs on a job he probably dreamed about, or certainly a job that he wanted badly. And now they just bypassed him.
Well,
it would have been like Osborne leaving and then Nebraska bypassing Frank Solich for someone outside.
You're seeing a lot of Wisconsin players and former players upset about them.
Oh, I bet they are. Boy,
as a guy from the Brotherhood, which Jim Leonhard is, former Badger himself.
He's like a Mr. Badger.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Jim didn't help himself out with losses to Iowa, Minnesota, and nearly a loss to Nebraska. The three teams.
They didn't look very good.
They did. I mean, against Minnesota, they looked terrible in that game. They looked bad this season in general.
So then let's wind it back to Nebraska, Jake.
Okay.
How many are people doing the comparison thing right now? Other
Yes.
than
Yes. Oh, God, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. I mean, this is all about keeping up with the Joneses. You hired the coach first. And you say, okay, Wisconsin, your move. Oh, they got Luke Fickell. That's a hell of a move.
Is that
Nebraska fans? I think Nebraska fans assumed that Jim Leonhard would get the job, and you thought this might be the cycle where Wisconsin goes down.
right?
Like we were hoping they'd make what we view as, hey, Mr. Badger, but we'd view it as the wrong hire, and this was the cycle the Badgers mess up. But I'm guessing that Chris McIntosh was saying we are aware of that. We're not going to have that be the conversation here in Madison.
Yep.
So you can lament all you want over here in Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, and think we're going to hire Jim Leonhard, but we're not. We're going to get a guy that's a for sure good head coach of the year last year in college football, a playoff coach last year.
I think what you're saying is correct to a point. I don't think that Wisconsin thought that program was going to tail off under Jim Leonhard. Jake.
Yeah, I know.
I think people from the outside
right
maybe did. Now, Chris McIntosh, the AD at Wisconsin, can't get caught up in, you know what? Now, I'm going to say it. And it's going to be a little hypocritical because I get caught up in this with Nebraska. You can't get caught up in the emotions of okay, Jimmy Leonhard, he's going to be devastated, I know. And the fan base is going to be hurt because Jimmy Leonhard is a beloved figure in Wisconsin. A good AD will divorce himself from those emotions and say, yeah, that's all nice. That's beautiful. But who's going to give us the best chance to win games? And I don't mean win games. I mean, you got to chase down Michigan and Ohio State. All right. Not win games, not go 8-4. Flex going 8-4. That looks good, but that's not ultimately what you want, right?
No. They want better than that.
You want somebody. What do we always say here, Jake? You want somebody that can take down the monsters in the East. By the way, Franklin just won 10 games at Penn State
quietly
for the fourth time.
And lost to Penn State. Lost to Ohio State, Michigan. Games that were competitive for a while. Both those games.
You have to hire somebody that can take down those beasts.
Yes,
it can't just be a cute little story.
Which Nebraska fans, and Minnesota and Iowa fans were viewing Jim Leonhard as a cute little story. Where the Badger fans maybe weren't. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. And that's why I think you were disappointed yesterday afternoon when you heard that Fickell was going to be the guy saying, "Man, they got it right."
Well,
they had a chance to get it wrong, and they got it right.
I can't go back on what I've written. I wrote for Sunday's editions of Husker Online that I said the closest thing to a home run hire for Nebraska would have been
Luke Fickell.
Right. That's right. That's what we agreed on.
Did he get a triple then, or what?
Yeah, I mean, I think Rhule's a double or triple.
Let's go with triple for the fans.
Maybe, yeah, triple. Yeah, off the wall.
Yeah, it's a pretty good hit.
Yeah, I mean, Trev got into one; it just didn't clear the fence.
Yeah, well, maybe he can score from third base though, still home.
So we've established. I mean, come on. I mean, if you're just objectively looking at it, Fickell's resume is better than
it is. Well, he was the national coach of the year last season and was in the playoffs last season with 9 draft picks, including Sauce Gardner, who could be the rookie of the year in the NFL.
Is that right? Is he having that good year?
Be. Yeah, he's either first or second in that conversation.
Fickell. Here's some records for you. Fickell, 57-18 at Cincy. 57-18.
Yeah, really good.
The only coach to take a group of 5 teams to the college football playoff. Okay.
And they weren't horrible against Alabama.
57-18 is a 760 winning percentage. I noticed, and I just thought about it yesterday. Solich, Frank, was 58-19.
Very similar. Very
753 got whacked. But anyway, we're not going to do that. Now,
past is the past.
I suppose the text line right now is saying, is this a Wisconsin radio show?
Nebraska hired Matt Rhule. that was the surprising news. We knew Matt Rhule was hired Saturday. Yesterday was a surprise at Fickell. I mean, if we had heard that for a rumor for a while, I don't think we'd be talking about it as much in the show. But it was a big statement by Wisconsin for a guy that Nebraska fans would have loved to have here. Also, knowing that they like Matt Rhule for the most part too.
My phone started blowing up. I don't know. Was it late morning when it started?
It was 11 a.m.
Yeah, late morning. And my first reaction was, that ain't happening. Give me a break.
It kept going, and it happened. So now we're pitted Matt Rhule versus Luke Fickell.
And then last night, fast forward to Sunday night, I'm watching video of Fickell getting off a plane in Madison with his 17 kids.
I guess it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
You had to be confirmed until he saw the plane on the video. I'm denying this the whole time.
It was.
Before we get to the calls, we got several. Obviously, not surprised the phones are lined up. In terms of what is Matt Rhule bringing with him? What are the assistant coaches? So here's nothing's official yet so far. These are what we're hearing in terms of coaches that might be coming with. Evan Cooper,
yes,
recruiting / defensive backs coach was with the Panthers previously.
Yeah, and he was at Temple and Baylor.
Okay, Terrence Knighton, also known as pot roast in the NFL with the Broncos back in the day. He was the assistant defensive line coach with the Panthers this season. Corey Campbell, assistant strength coach. I'm not sure if he'll be the regular strength coach at Nebraska.
I don't know. I don't think so.
And then we saw last night Marcus Satterfield, the South Carolina offensive coordinator, could potentially.
We've talked about that.
Potential.
Yeah, potential.
Potential.
I mean, Satterfield has been with Rhule at other stops.
And he was at South Carolina this year. And he just had 2 massive wins back-to-back.
Right.
Tennessee and Clemson. How about that? Tennessee and Clemson back-to-back weeks, South Carolina wins.
Jeez.
Unbelievable. And the offense was great in those games.
That's Shane Beamer getting it done.
Shane Beamer had a hell of a finish to the season.
So, yeah, that's now everybody's going to wonder, what about Mickey? What about Mickey?
Yep.
What about Mickey Joseph? Now, on Saturday, I can tell you Saturday, it didn't sound Saturday early afternoon. It didn't sound like he was going to be part of it. Now, these things are fluid, and I don't know what's going to happen there. But I thought after the game, it didn't sound like it from Mickey's comments. If you listen to Mickey's comments, now Mickey will be fine.
Yeah, he will get a job. I still like him here.
I know. Well, yeah, we can talk about that. It's sort of a complex discussion. I would say this about Mickey Joseph. If I were Mickey Joseph, I would think of it like this. This is where I'm most valuable, at Nebraska. There's no other school in America where I'd be this valuable monetarily. I mean, I can command, I don't think he's going to get a Power 5 head coach.
I don't think so.
I mean, he could
be a very, very top, well-paid top assistant though somewhere.
I think it's legitimate for Mickey Joseph, certainly to ask for more than $1 million. Now, where does it go from there? His value is that. I mean, his value to the program is such that he can ask for a big number. He can help keep that roster together. He knows what this place needs, right?
Yes.
He knows and just maybe importantly, and more, maybe just as important, he knows what it doesn't need. I mean, he understands a lot about this place now that Matt Rhule, frankly, doesn't know.
Right. That's why Mickey's important to people.
He's established a lot of recruiting relationships, Mickey, that just would go away. Now, again, on Saturday, my thought was this probably isn't going to happen. Now, I had to write a column yesterday, so I wasn't in reporter mode yesterday. But it's certainly, all I'm going to say is this is a 2:00 Saturday. It didn't sound like it was going to happen.
And I'm sure that if we don't know any sort of clarity before 1:30 today, that'll be a question that is asked commonly to Matt Rhule. What's the situation with Mickey Joseph? Mm-hmm. I mean, people want to know. That was the guy that was the head coach for 9 games this year.
Legit
and
question.
Just beat Iowa for the first time in 7 games.
God, they look good too.
They look good. They were up 24-0. Now they almost blew it, but they won. They won the game.
They won. They looked really good in doing it.
Yeah.
It is such a strange day. Such a strange Friday in Iowa City. Jake, you know this, and this is not. Don't come at me with, well, you're an adult old man. There are literally, I've just covered a lot of games that I forget about being at. I mean, I can look in the media guide and identify a game in 2002 or three or whatever that I can't remember being there. I mean, I may or may
go. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, me and Michael Severe had this conversation. Michael's in his 50s. And he said the same thing. So, but what I'm getting at is I'll never forget Friday in Iowa City. I'll never forget.
Took away their division title from them.
Yeah.
You at 3-8 going in, took away you were up 24-0 on their home field on their senior day.
It was startling.
With everything going their direction before the game.
It was startling. And while it was going on, for instance, okay, who hit the quarterback that led to the fumble that Garrett, that was a Tiva Maga Clemens.
Yeah, I think it was.
They hit the quarterback, Padilla, Alex, that caused a fumble that Garrett Nelson picked up, and Nebraska was going to go up 17-0.
That's right.
As Nebraska was going up 17-0, this was what was happening in the press box. Early in the day, there was a lot of buzz in the press box. I can share this now because it's over. There was buzz in the press box that Rhule had turned the job down.
Oh, really?
It was just false information. But a lot of people heard it. I mean, reporters were talking amongst themselves. We were all kind of wondering what the hell's going on. Okay, so we were thinking this could get really weird. But then, as the day went on, it became clear that was not right. Pete Thamel reported that Nebraska and Rhule were getting close. And then in the third quarter, whenever that happened, whenever Nebraska was going up 17-0, Maga Clemens hit the quarterback, I was on the phone with a very good source who said, no, Sipple, it's done. Rhule to Nebraska is done.
Now, early second quarter at that point.
Yeah, so it was early second quarter. Now, I mean, it was from the media standpoint, it was sort of an awkward day because look what's going on the field. Down on the field, Nebraska's going up 17-0 on Iowa
and looking great.
Yeah.
Defense is awesome. Offense is clicking.
And then meanwhile, in the press box, well, I'm in kind of a quandary here. Do I report this now? I mean,
the team is actually winning this game. That's a snap an ugly streak to Iowa. And the season on a high note.
Yeah, and you got to make a decision too. Is this source good enough? I mean, what do you do? The source was really good. He said, yeah, it's definitely over. And Pete Thamel's going to report it, he said. So I was like, what do you do? You're wrestling with it. But anyway, it just kind of points out why the day's so memorable. All that was going on, and meanwhile, down on the field, Nebraska's going up 24-0 and looking good.
Yeah.
Now,
Iowa makes a mistake. They muff a punt. They had
Iowa makes mistakes in this game.
They did. Iowa looked like Nebraska from this season.
Right.
Just stupid mistakes.
Muffing a punt. Do you think Iowa did they seize up under the pressure?
Well, I mean, don't forget Petrus gets hurt early, and did their corner. The bigger thing was Cooper DeJean goes out. I mean, Cooper DeJean and Jack Campbell are the heartbeat of that defense, and Campbell played, but without DeJean, I mean, Nebraska went over the top to Trey Palmer deep ball, and that was the lead 7-zip, and then you're doubting yourself the rest.
We'll get to the calls now. But the one thing I want to say is tip your cap. We haven't said this very often.
Tip your cap day.
Tip your cap to Mark Whipple.
Yeah, he called a good game. He did.
Well, you know what they did? Fascinating. We always do this thing where you got to run the ball. You got to establish the run, right? 8 of the first 9 plays were passes. It was a very aggressive passing attack. It was aggressive. They went out. What do we always say about Iowa? They don't get beat deep. Nebraska just hammering them deep.
That deep ball from Casey to Trey was gorgeous. 87-yard touchdown, gorgeous pass.
Casey Thompson can throw a deep ball.
20 for 30, 278, 3 touchdowns, no pick, sacked twice.
I feel so good for those
good
kids.
way to end the season for him.
Feels so good for those kids. All
right, let's get to the calls. We've been patiently waiting on the Honda of Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685. Up first is Vince in Napa. Vince, good morning. We got a lot of people behind you. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, fellas. How are you?
Good.
Let's see. First of all, I mean, I appreciate everything Mickey Joseph did. There's no question about it because, he stepped in a tough situation and Sif, he steered the ship, and this season really could have gone off the rails. but it didn't. He kept this team playing with a purpose. There's all the room in the world to appreciate what he did. And the people that are, upset that he didn't get the job, hey, I get it. I can totally understand. But you also have to look at this with intellect rather than emotion.
Right.
Is that, because, and now I've even heard the narrative of, Mickey doesn't have Power 5 head coaching experience. Neither did Osborne, neither did Frank Solich, neither did Bo Pelini. Well, but you also have to give some context. Osborne and Solich were also the right-hand men for Devaney and Osborne, and were taking over national championship programs, which would basically be like taking out over Alabama right now. And Bo Pelini took over a 5-7 team, but he also took over a team that was 1 year removed from playing for a conference title. And the cupboard wasn't exactly bare either.
Right.
Matt Rhule has experience turning programs around. So he is what we need at the present time. Now, I'm not even going to sit here and say if it's going to work or not. You don't know it. I don't know it. The man on the moon doesn't know it. But, but all I know is this. Matt Rhule has coached 7 years in college football. He's led 3 teams to 10 wins or more. Here at Nebraska, in the meantime, we've won 10 games this whole damn decade. Enough said. Need I say more?
Ouch.
And when you look at his development track record, okay, you look at what he did at Temple. You're not just getting guys that Penn State didn't want. You're getting guys that Rutgers and Maryland didn't want. You milked 10 wins out of that. I mean, you don't do that without knowing how to develop.
Sure.
And also, he went into Baylor. Okay, how many kids at Baylor are you getting that Texas and Texas A&M didn't want? And I saw a poll somewhere where Texas high school coaches, and they don't just say this about anybody, they were asked, which Texas major coach would you trust? Gary Patterson won number 1, Matt Rhule was number 2. Texas high school football coaches don't just accept anybody. And again, I'm not going to sit here and say if this is going to work or if this isn't going to work. Because we don't have any evidence, and I think as a fan base, to your point, Sip, we should learn our lesson as far as just automatically signing off on it. But you know what? I mean, if that Rhule can get us back to some iteration of what we once were within a few years, I'd say it's worth the hire. But you want to know something?
Yes.
What's that?
Here's what I say to Coach Rhule.
Okay.
First of all, welcome to Nebraska. Okay. First of all, I say welcome to Nebraska, and here's what I want to see every Saturday.
Okay,
I want to see a team that opens up a can of kick-ass for 60 minutes every week and fights with bloody knuckles.
Right, both.
Let's go!
Right.
Thank you, Vince.
Kick ass and bloody knuckles. Let's go. All right, let's go to Chris.
All right, up next has been patiently waiting is Chris at the Baldwin Shop. Good morning, Chris. I'm sure you've got plenty of thoughts on Matt Rhule.
Hey, good morning, Steve. Jake, how are you guys this morning?
Thank you for being patient, Chris.
Oh, no problem. No problem. This is a big day at Nebraska again. But, first, Steve, Jake, I'd like to start with the game Friday. My wife told me in the third and fourth quarter, that is the first time she'd seen me yelling at the TV in about 4 years.
Really?
I was into it, Steve, Jake.
You were into it.
wanted those guys to win that game so bad.
Good for you.
And they kind of rub Iowa's nose in it, because Brian Ferentz is, he's not shy about taking shots at us, throwing a few bombs across the Missouri River at us.
Right. No, you're right.
So, but it was like you guys said, Iowa did to themselves what they make others do to themselves. They had penalties. They fumbled. They just, I don't know. And hey, well, let's face it, you guys. Their quarterback plays horrendous.
Oh God.
I mean, it's bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Texas. When he went out, I thought, well, Nebraska's really in the driver's seat. And the Padilla kid, I thought, man, he's even a couple of steps below Texas.
Yeah.
I thought, gee whiz, he just, those kids just didn't look very good. But in spite of the great game plan we started out with, I thought you guys we got a little bit conservative in the third and fourth quarter. One of the problems was, though, hey, some old warts you guys did show up in this game. Running the football was one of them.
Oh, sure.
When you get 50 yards on 35 carries, that's not a good day. The offensive line, they pass protected pretty good, but the run blocking's bad. And then, Iowa was only averaging about 90, 95 yards a game rushing, but during the third and fourth quarter, their running backs were getting 5, 6, 7 yards on chunk plays. I was actually hoping that Iowa would drop back and pass the ball instead of running the ball, because they were running pretty good on us. But anyway, guys, it was a great win for these kids to end up the season. But on the coaching hire, I would just warn people. The word here is patience. Really, we got to have patience. This isn't going to be like Lincoln Riley going to Southern Cal, taking a 4-8 team last year and going 11-1. And remember, this summer we talked about the Big Ten. They have just let a big monster in the door, and I think that's what it looks like right now. They've got to get through Utah. If they beat Utah this Saturday or Friday night, I think's that game.
It's Friday night. Yeah,
they're in. They're in the playoff. That's what I would think. But I just want to warn people that we're going to have patience here. And a place like Southern Cal or Ohio State, remember, Urban Meyer took over a losing season too after the 2011 season. There's a lot more talent laying around those campuses than there are here in Lincoln, Nebraska. And we don't even know how many of these kids are going to be around next year.
No, you don't.
Probably not a lot of them. But Steve, Jake, patience is the word here. I do hope they keep Mickey Joseph. And like you guys were talking about Wisconsin earlier, boy, they kept that a secret up there. I mean, they didn't let that out at all. And I do feel bad for Jim Leonhard, but I would think if Matt Rhule needs a good defensive coordinator, there's one available right there. But, guys, hey, it's going to be an interesting week. We got a lot to chew on in the off season again, and we'll see how all this plays out.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for the call, Chris.
Yes, Jimmy Leonhard devastated. A lot to unpack. Let's get to Sean real
Quickly
fast.
from Sean, we'll get to break. Sean, you're up next in an early break. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, I just got a couple things to say.
Okay.
First of all, I think Matt Rhule is 47 and 43
That's about right. Yeah.
in his 10 seasons. And then secondly, Carolina gets rid of all their good players after he gets fired. And it feels like Carolina's already better than they were with Matt Rhule. So I'll hang up and listen. That way you guys can get through some callers and go Big Red.
All right, Sean.
Well, thank you. There's always a response to the change of a coach. I mean, you saw it in Nebraska. Nebraska played better with Mickey Joseph than did with Scott Frost. There's just a different message resonating. I would argue this for Matt Rhule. I'm not going to say that his tenure in Carolina is forgivable because it was bad, but he was failed by his GM pretty poorly. They never had a quarterback. They tried to. You try to resurrect Cam Newton. He was terrible last year. Sam Darnold is not the answer. Baker Mayfield's not the answer.
Right.
PJ Walker was in the XFL. He's not the answer.
Right.
They never gave him a chance at quarterback.
Yeah, you better have a quarterback.
They didn't really have the best talent also on offense. Again, not making excuses for Matt. He failed in Carolina. But as we've said, great college coaches are not always great NFL coaches, and Matt Rhule certainly was not that. But I'm not going to say he's a bad coach because of what happened in Carolina.
The personnel discussion is real. I mean, that we found out immediately on Saturday they lost Trey Palmer
to the NFL draft.
Right.
Yes.
Vokalek, of course, will be gone.
Yep.
It looks like O'Shawn Mathis will be gone. And I'd keep an eye on Garrett Nelson.
Yep.
Garrett Nelson may have designs on West Coast School. We found that out on Saturday. It's no decisions on that I know of. It's just something to watch. But, man, you lose Mathis, Vokalek.
Palmer.
Trey Palmer, those guys in Nelson, maybe. That's 4 major pieces now.
We will take more of your phone calls, your comments on the Matt Rhule to Nebraska situation next on Early Break on the Ticket.
Gana Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. You can get 40-hour work year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gana Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gana Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GanaTrucking.com.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
Tractor Supply Distribution Center in Waverly is having a hire event this Friday, December 2nd and Saturday, December 3rd. Stop by between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Friday or from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturday to learn more about their opportunities for your next career. Interviews will be conducted both days. Wages grow up to $20 per hour. Make plans to attend Friday or Saturday at 12851 Dover Street in Waverly. And if you take it, you can always apply at tractorsupply.jobs or text Tractor DC to 25000. Tractor Supply, for life out here.
This is Todd Riley with American Senior Benefits. If you qualify for Medicare, then you're probably getting bombarded with information right now about different options during the annual election period. It can all be incredibly overwhelming. We're here to help. The experts at American Senior Benefits can help you navigate all of your options and make the best decision for you. You can reach out via our Facebook page, American Senior Benefits Lincoln, or call me directly at 402-413-9510. Let us help you make an informed decision at American Senior Benefits.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 North 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 North 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 North 27th Street.
This is Dan. Between 2010 and 2019, distracted driving caused more than 40,000 car crashes in Nebraska, resulting in over 14,000 severe injuries and deaths. Please keep your eyes on the road. If you have a smartphone, put it away while you're behind the wheel. It will help keep our community safe and secure. This message is brought to you by Friedman Law Offices, helping injured people. It's what we do. It's all we do. Find us at friedmanlaw.com today.
Don't let high interest rates get you down. Acres has you covered. For a limited time, Acres, the nation's largest combine dealer, is giving you 2% fixed rate financing for 60 months on select used combines. With this incredible offer, you could save thousands. Visit your local Acres location or acres.com to check out the widest selection of low-hour, late-model combines available. Don't wait. The great deal runs out at the end of November. Subject to finance approval. Some restrictions apply. Offer ends November 30th, 2022.
Bagels and Joe is happy to introduce the new Joe Card. Get unlimited drip coffee from all 5 locations, including the new Seward location, for just $8.95 per month. Start your mornings off right with a breakfast sandwich and unlimited coffee from Bagels and Joe. Hopcat exists at the intersection of beer and delicious food, complemented by music, art, community, and comfort. Home to a best-in-class beer experience served by craft beer experts, guests can expect a casual, inviting local gathering place with some of the best damn burgers and fries you'll find in Lincoln. Hopcat is your pregame headquarters for basketball and volleyball all season long. Hopcat is located at 60. Put an extra at www.hopcat.com.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gana Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We will take more of your phone calls and text 402-464-5685. We know you have plenty of thoughts on Matt Rhule to Nebraska, Luke Fickell to Wisconsin, and more from the game on Friday. Nebraska beats Iowa. But before we get to that, we were just discussing before we went on the air that could you imagine if we didn't have a coach named yet today and Nebraska had beaten Iowa, which they did on Friday. And then and there's no news. And Fickell had been hired by Wisconsin.
Oh, God. No.
Imagine this place if there was no announcement this weekend.
Right.
And Fickell's announced to Wisconsin. We're sitting here Monday saying, who's the coach after Nebraska beats Iowa? Is it Mickey? Is it Chris Kleiman? Is it Jeff Monken? No. We don't have to worry about that scenario. We got a coach figured out.
Yeah, they nailed it down.
They did.
They nailed it down. It's, we should give voice to the fact that they had an early discussion with Matt Rhule, they being Nebraska. So that was around November. I think Nebraska and Rhule had a parting of sorts about November 15th. Because we know that
13 days ago.
Yeah. So it was, Nebraska lost to Michigan November 12th.
Mm-hmm.
It was right at that time Trev talked to Lance Leipold. I would call it an interview. It was right at that time when that happened. That was Sunday. That was Sunday after the Michigan game. And during that period, Nebraska was also in talks with Rhule. But it looked like at that point they had parted ways. Well, then they wound back to Rhule. I know whatever happened. There's some things happening behind the scenes. I think they had to adjust the years of the contract. Maybe that was one thing I heard.
Or how much Carolina was paying of this with the buyout.
I don't know. Yeah, some of that might have been a discussion. And Nebraska, it went back to Rhule. And what I heard on Wednesday, think about Wednesday, 2 days before the Iowa game. Wednesday afternoon, what I had heard is that Rhule had 48 hours to decide. Now, that was not – I don't know when the 48 hours commenced. I just heard it on Wednesday. The 48 hours might have commenced on Monday or Tuesday. I don't know. But anyway, that's when we reported, okay, Rhule's back on the table. I mean, he's back in the picture. In fact, he's the most prominent in the picture. Now, this is just a source, and we can ask Trev this, and we're not probably going to get the answer anyway. But at that point on Wednesday, I thought it was Rhule, Leipold, or Doran. That's what I was told by a source in the industry. Doran's name never really was hot here. It never really got hot. And it wasn't like anybody else was reporting it. So, I mean, I don't know if that person was right that was telling me this. Again, in the agent world, squarely knew exactly what was going on with Rhule. He claimed, and he was right about Lance. I mean, that Trev, in fact, talked to Lance Leipold in depth. I mean, twice. Okay, twice talked to him in depth. He was right about that. So maybe this source was right about Doran. If Rhule wouldn't have worked, maybe it was Doran they were going to next. Maybe it was Fickell. Now, there's a lot of people, for instance, on the Husker Online message board that believe that Fickell was in play for Nebraska.
Well, knowing that he moved, maybe he was in play.
I guess, yeah. It might have been.
He did make a move.
Yeah, I am not dismissing that notion for a second. I just never heard it. So I couldn't report. I never heard it from anybody. From the people I was talking to, nobody ever told me Fickell was in it. But other people were saying it. So I don't know. I don't know if he was or not. Was Fickell on Nebraska's? Had to be on their radar, right?
Well, yeah, if Wisconsin's going after him, maybe was he showing signs he wanted out, or he would take a leap?
Because what we thought, and you would agree with me on this, I think, we didn't think Fickell would leave.
No, well, we thought maybe for Ohio State eventually.
Yeah.
Or the NFL possibly,
or Notre
right?
Dame.
Notre Dame, Ohio State, NFL, and Notre Dame. Did they offer him last year? Did he turn him down when they hired Marcus Freeman? I forget the situation there.
I don't think so. But now here's the thing. It's interesting too, because since he's going to the Big 12, they go to the Big 12 in July.
That's right.
So he was going to a good conference. Like some people say, well, maybe he just wanted to improve the conference. I don't know. Big 12 stable, right? Big 12 stable.
It's stable, but it's not in the same element as the Big 10. Right? There's going to be way more
Not
money in the Big
financially,
Ten.
yeah.
Yeah, way more money in the Big Ten.
It's just interesting that he would make that leap. I didn't think he would.
Well, I mean, now you have to worry if you're Wisconsin about if Ohio State ever opens up. Ryan Day lost. Ryan Day, we'll get to that next time. Ryan Day lost again to Michigan, and they got pounded again. At home.
Right.
At home. Same stories last year. The running game killed them again. The rush, Michigan's rushing attack.
Oh, it was passing attack.
It was too, but late. Edwards got away late twice to pull away for the game.
Think about this, Lance. No,
hang on, Lance.
Hold on. Think about this, Jake. Nebraska's defense, what they did against Michigan.
Yep.
And then what Ohio State did. 5 plays of 45 yards or more, Michigan against Ohio State's defense. 3 pass plays of 45 yards or more, and 2 run plays.
I mean, they couldn't pass at all against Nebraska. McCarthy was terrible that game.
And they didn't bust out. They didn't bust out 2 runs.
Nope.
Think about what Nebraska.
Bill Bush did a good job with the defense.
Oh,
great job. Phenomenal job.
How about Iowa? How about in Iowa?
They did a great job with Iowa.
Lance.
Let's get a call from Lance, who's been patiently waiting on the Honda of Lincoln hotline, 402-464-5685. Lance, you're on early break. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. A lot of thoughts here this morning.
Okay.
But, off the top of my head, I think our final 3 was Rhule, Fickell, and Kleiman, and I feel pretty confident saying that.
Okay.
And I do think that Wisconsin made the best hire of the cycle. I think Fickell is an absolute fantastic coach, and long term will have them going. I have some concerns about Matt Rhule, but I'm going to give him a chance.
Yes.
The limited resume for what we are paying. I think when you talk about how good a hire is, you also have to look at what you're paying. Go look at the guys making $9 million plus a year, and that's some pretty rare air. And we're giving that to a guy with 7 years of college football experience, with a sub 500 record as a Power 5 head coach. So I have some concerns there. And then I look at, one of his first hires, Terrence Knighton.
Mm-hmm.
People were all over Donnie Raiola, and Knighton doesn't even have the resume of Donnie Raiola. So, I think he has some chops. He's built 2 programs. I think he'll come across exceptionally well today. But I think if you don't have Mickey on this staff, knowing the work that he has done with just Nebraska high school coaches to repair relationships that over the past 7 years have just been beaten to shreds, I think would be a really bad step, especially given what we've been hearing on what his staff dollar value pool is, $2+ million, maybe more than what Frost had. And we're going and getting guys who have never offered scholarships at an FBS level for position coaches. So I like the hire. I don't think it's a home run, especially at $9 million a year for him. And but I think we'll give it time and see if we can't get it right.
Okay, Lance, thanks for the phone call.
I think the $9 million does not bother me for some reason. It's the rate, and you know what? It's the rate now. Next year, round of hirings
going up.
He won't. It won't be a big number the next round. It will. I mean, it's not going to be a small number at any point, but I mean, it's going to go up. So now I don't. That's the cost. I just look at it like it's the cost of doing business. Now, and I think it's possible that Rhule had a lot of leverage late in this game.
He probably did,
right? I mean, the later it goes, the later it goes. Now, would you agree with this, Jake? The later it goes in the process, the more leverage the coach has,
yes,
and the less leverage the AD has.
Because
now, what if you don't get Rhule? First of all, there's a lot of pressure on Saturday or Friday or Saturday too. Yeah, if you don't get Rhule, there's a lot of pressure on Trev. If they just can't come to terms, right? So who has leverage at the bargaining table in that
Matt Rhule
situation?
Yeah. If I'm your guy, you better pay me what I want.
Yeah, because what if I say no? Right.
That's right.
Right. Then it gets a little dicey, right?
That's right.
What if he would have said no on Friday?
I mean, sitting here today now with the head coach, and Wisconsin's got Luke Fickell. Is that the case? Yeah. That'd be a wonderful Monday for us, wouldn't it be? Song of the day is next, an early break on the ticket.
Imagine your next staff meeting. Now imagine your next staff meeting with a side of ribs. Your next client presentation, written speech. It's better. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Take care of all your business catering needs. Feed the staff, cater your next event, whatever you need, Mary Ellen's can help. They can even host your events in their brand new event space located right next to the restaurant. Go see for yourself. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul at 29th and Pine Lake or online at maryellens.com. Let them fix you a plate.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
Gaina Trucking is high CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at gainatrucking.com.
The Heartland Diamond from Sauter Heyman Jewelers was born from an unrelenting desire for more sparkle. Designed to shine as bright as your love, the difference between the Heartland and the traditional cut is clearly visible with the naked eye. By adding 32 additional facets, our skilled craftsmen have created a masterpiece, a diamond that truly reflects your passion and desire. Stop in and see the brilliance of the Heartland Diamond for yourself, exclusively at Sauter Heyman Jewelers, a Nebraska tradition since 1905.
Don't let high interest rates get you down. Acres has you covered. For a limited time, Acres, the nation's largest combine dealer, is giving you 2% fixed rate financing for 60 months on select used combines. With this incredible offer, you could save thousands. Visit your local Acres location or acres.com to check out the widest selection of low-hour, late-model combines available. Don't wait. The great deal runs out at the end of November. Subject to finance approval. Some restrictions apply. Offer ends November 30th, 2022.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings a clean career opportunity to you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Bagels and Joe is happy to introduce the new Joe card. Get unlimited drip coffee from all 5 locations, including New Seward location, for just $8.95 per month. Start your mornings off right with a breakfast sandwich and unlimited coffee from Bagels and Joe.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Partly to mostly sunny skies here for our Monday. We'll talk about at 55. Winds out of the south at around 10 to 15. Increasing cloud cover tonight with a low of around 33. Only a high of 36 tomorrow with falling temperatures. North winds gusting over 30 and a chance of freezing drizzle mixing with snow. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You love to bash his sports takes.
Now, will you feel like an idiot if you're
No,
a big tough?
never feel like an
If
idiot.
you're a big tough guy this morning,
But you really love to voice your displeasure for his music choices.
stumbled on an issue that I did not think would generate this much passion and discussion.
It's time for Jake's questionable song of the day. Early break on 93 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ho, 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 it's magic. You know, never believe it's not so. It's magic. been awake, never seen a day break. Leaning on my pillow in the morning, lazy day in bed, music in my head, crazy music playing in the morning light. Oh, ho, ho, it's magic, you know.
This was mostly a response to Nebraska beating Iowa on Friday for the first time since 2014. Magic by Pilot from 1974, your song of the day, 464-5685. 1 is bad, 10 is good. Text your rating on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers song of the day.
I love a sunny day, dream of far away, dreaming on my pillow in the morning. Never been away, hey, never seen a day break, leaning on my pillow in the morning light. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Once again, your song of the day from 1974, Magic by Pilot. 464-56851 is bad, 10 is good. Text your rating on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers song of the day.
1974, just in the heart of a period.
You were
of
8?
Yeah, I was 8.
Mm-hmm.
The heart of a period of outstanding music. I wish I should have called up. I can do it right now. The 1974
hits. Hits.
I'll say 1974. 1974 Billboard Top 100. There it is. Billboard Top 100. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. I mean,
it's a response right there. Oh, my God.
Come and Get Your Love by Redbone
Good one.
was number 4. Dancing Machine by the Jackson 5 was 5. Come on, come on, come on, let's do the locomotion was 6.
That one's okay.
Benny and the Jets.
I hate that song.
7.
Take that one off the list. Hate it. Worst song ever.
Jungle Boogie, Cool in the Gang.
That one's good.
A song that was amazing, Midnight at the Oasis by Maria Moldauer. Okay, so 74 was incredible. That song was terrible.
It's quite the build-up to disparage the song.
I turned it every time I heard it.
Why?
I just thought it was horrendous. And I still
sure
do.
about that?
Yes. I thought maybe you're going for a Magic Matt theme or something. I don't know what the hell you're
I'm not
doing.
going for Magic Matt. No one calls Matt Rhule Magic Matt that I'm aware of.
I was hoping we're
Is that your nickname for
it? No.
Is your first question be, hey, can I call you Magic Matt? Hey, Coach, can I call you Magic Matt?
No, you struck out on that one. You went to a great year and picked out a bad
it had a
song.
theme. There's a theme to it. It
No,
was
not really.
Magic that Nebraska beat Iowa for the first time since 2014.
That's a bad one. I turned it every time, even as a kid, even as a little kid.
You know
I
what
was
I did?
annoyed by
I
the
turned
song.
it up.
I was annoyed by it.
I turned it up.
I'll give that a 4.3.
Mark gave it a 7.5. Says
He
it's
gives
fun.
everything a 7.5.
He said before the song plays, 7.5. I respect it, Mark. I respect it.
That's pretty.
That's a 10. Sip is wrong. 8.5. That's a 9. 7.4. Someone says I'm pissed. It's not Iowa sucks. You know what? Iowa sucks is still here. If I could play, I'm not going to play it yet. We'll see.
Time in a Bottle, 1974 was not hot.
8.8. 6.9, 6.2, 7.2.
You know what else was big in 1974? Get ready for this one. Sundown by Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah, we love that song.
Yeah.
You better take care.
Good job.
6 from Harper's Dad, a 5.
You better take care.
Yeah,
That's
9.0 from David from Renew. How about that? Yeah, a lot of people mad I didn't play the Iowa Sucks song. That's fine. You know, maybe it makes its way to the second album.
One of the most perplexing songs of all time was on the Billboard chart at number 31. One of the most inappropriate songs of all time. You're 16 by Ringo Starr. What the
You're
hell?
16 and you're fine. You're mine, something like
Yeah,
that. Is
yeah,
that what it was?
yeah. Ringo. Okay, what else? Hooked on a Feeling.
You hate that song. I like that. You hate that song. I love Hooked on a Feeling.
I don't even see this one on there anywhere. What else is on? What else is on here? The Joker was on.
Steve Miller Band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1974 Billboard Top 100. Smoking in the Boys' Room.
That's a good song. Smoking in the Boys' Room.
The Night Chicago Died.
I don't know that one.
Oh, yes, you do.
I like Smoking in the Boys' Room, though. Hold that thought. I'm going to play a legal idea real quick. Hang on a second.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7
All right,
The
Jim.
Ticket.
Jim Harbaugh,
Jim.
before we get to the top of the hour, Jim Harbaugh
Jim.
and Michigan go into Columbus, and they beat Ohio State handily. Again, 2 long touchdowns to end the game to put it away.
By
Donovan Edwards. It's not even the starting running back.
Right.
Blake Corum, we knew was banged up going to the game. It's fine. We got Donovan Edwards go for 200-plus yards.
Final
on the ground.
score?
45-23. Wolverines win by 22. They pulverized the Buckeyes for a second straight year. And Ohio State fans are saying we need a new coach.
Are they?
Oh, they're pissed. I mean, it's they're kind of caught in the moment, frustration there. But can you imagine for a second wanting to let go of your coach after going 11-1? But you still have a chance at the playoffs.
Yeah,
they still have a chance. What if USC loses to Utah? I mean, that's the problem with playing one more game for the championship game. You can either confirm your spot or you can take yourself out of the conversation.
Good point.
Like Michigan's in the playoff, win or lose against Purdue. They can't miss the playoff. They won the conference. They beat Ohio State. They're in the playoff.
Thinking about that. Mark's thinking about that too. Mark's thinking.
How could they not be in the playoff? They're undefeated.
If they lose to Purdue?
Yes.
Wouldn't that maybe knock them
That
out?
would hurt them. They'd probably be the 4th seed. What if TCU loses to Kansas State?
Right.
They're out.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things can happen here.
Yeah, you're right.
Like Bama is not in. 2-loss Bama's out.
Let's just
No
say
two-loss
this.
team.
A lot can still happen.
Yes.
Let's just say that.
You got USC.
I don't think you can summarily say that Michigan is in if they lose to Purdue. I do not think you can do that.
I think they'd be nervous. I think they didn't be in though. Look at the teams with 1 loss. How many teams are out there with 1 loss now?
Right.
I mean, LSU had a 3rd loss. They're gone. They lost to A&M for crying out loud on Saturday.
They're
Gone.
They're gone.
Tennessee is probably gone. Still in it barely.
2-loss Tennessee.
But they have 2 losses. So Michigan would have 1 loss.
Right.
That's it.
Okay.
With a win over Ohio State.
Yeah.
And Penn State.
All right.
Top teams here.
Okay. You might
Michigan
be right.
is still
That's
there.
be a bad loss though. And it's not happening anyway, so let's not talk about it. Ohio State. Ohio State. Yes, Day's under pressure. Think about the pressure on Day in the bowl game. I don't know who they're going to play.
I don't know who they're going to play.
But whatever that bowl game
they
is.
They still think they have a chance at the playoff. They do.
But there's a lot of pressure on Ryan Day going into that bowl game. God, that's a pressure job. You can't. I always go back to that scene. I was standing in my kitchen for some reason. I don't know what I was doing home when they hired Ryan Day. And I was watching the press conference. Yeah, Gene put his arm on Ryan Day's shoulder and kind of looked at him and smiled and said, "You know, at Ohio State, Ryan, we expect to win them all,
and we don't lose to Michigan.
Right? We expect to win them all, and we mean all. I mean, what kind of? I just thought that was bizarre. Almost.
Pressure is so incredible.
Like, what are you talking about?
11-1 is a failed season for Ohio State.
Yeah.
Well, mostly because they lost to Michigan. They lost
Jim,
to big rival.
Jim has a big, mean, ornery offensive line.
We saw that firsthand.
That and they are very confident. They are very confident. They believe that nobody can stop them. All right. That's belief. That is huge.
They're undefeated.
That is huge.
They're undefeated.
Yeah.
Top of the hour, more discussion. Matt Rhule, Nebraska's head coach. Your thoughts, 464-5685. More next on Early Break on the Ticket.
Hey guys, this is Lindsay Teal from Nebraska Golf Team. Imagine golfing the best courses in the world. St. Andrews, Pebble Beach, Southern Hills, the best of the best. You can play courses more in the city of Lincoln. At Double, it has the city's best golf simulators, 5 high-quality bays that track ball speed, launch angle, club speed, and more to give you most accurate gameplay. Check it out for yourself year-round. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Hopcat exists at the intersection of great beer and delicious food, complemented by music, art, community, and comfort. Home to a best-in-class beer experience served by craft beer experts, guests can expect a casual, inviting local gathering place with some of the best damn burgers and fries you'll find in Lincoln. Hopcat is your pregame headquarters for basketball and volleyball all season long. Hopcat is located at 6th and P in the Haymarket. To plan your next trip to Hopcat, visit www.hopcat.com.
Don't let high interest rates get you down. Acres has you covered. For a limited time, Acres, the nation's largest combine dealer, is giving you 2% fixed rate financing for 60 months on select used combines. With this incredible offer, you could save thousands. Visit your local Acres location or acres.com to check out the widest selection of low-hour, late-model combines available. Don't wait. The great deal runs out at the end of November. Subject to finance approval. Some restrictions apply. Offer ends November 30th, 2022.
This is Todd Riley with American Senior Benefits. If you qualify for Medicare, then you're probably getting bombarded with information right now about different options during the annual election period. It can all be incredibly overwhelming. We're here to help. The experts at American Senior Benefits can help you navigate all of your options and make the best decision for you. You can reach out via our Facebook page, American Senior Benefits Lincoln, or call me directly at 402-413-9510. Let us help you make an informed decision at American Senior Benefits.
At Coppell Chevrolet GMC, we are thankful for so many things this year, starting with our great employees, a generous community, our military personnel, and most importantly, our loyal customer base that continues to drive that money-saving mile of Louisville. Hi, this is Sean Callahan, and on behalf of everybody at Coppell, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and safe travels to wherever they may take you. Happy holidays from Coppell Chevrolet GMC.
Life-changing research doesn't just take place in outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska, and you could play a key role. Solarion, one of the world's leading clinical research organizations, needs healthy adults who are 19 years old and older for a research opportunity. If you qualify, you can earn up to $500 a day for time and travel. Overnight stays may be required. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2965 or visit helpresearch.com/500.
Bagels and Joe is happy to introduce the new Joe card. Get unlimited drip coffee from all 5 locations, including New Seward location, for just $8.95 per month. Start your mornings off right with a breakfast sandwich and unlimited coffee from Bagels and Joe.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build the professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Coppell Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Welcome back to Hour 2 on a Monday. Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, Early Break. Fun show so far. Check out the podcast at theticketfm.com. Lots to get to with Matt Rhule, the next Nebraska football coach. Press conference today at 1:30. Luke Fickell at Wisconsin. I think his press conference is at 4 o'clock today. Okay. Something like that. So you'll have 2 big press conferences to monitor today.
I'm not monitoring Fickell.
Yes, you will. You'll listen to it. You'll hear it. Say
Why would I monitor Fickell?
It's like
I'll be writing. I'll take a look at it later tonight.
Okay.
I'm not that interested in Fickell's announcement ceremony. Nebraska's going to have a big one.
I'm kind of curious.
Okay. Well,
Maybe I'll track it for you.
Yeah. Track what?
The press conference. What's being said. The quotes coming out from Luke Fickell. That's how you track something.
Okay.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, this will be a grand event at Nebraska. I imagine it'll be a grand event at Wisconsin. A grand event at Nebraska will be at the Hawks Championship Center, which is new.
That is new.
I don't know what that's going to look like, but that'll be fun. And that's when the media and the world, the Husker Nation, will meet Matt Rhule, 1:30 p.m.
Quick note on that.
Yes.
I need to apologize to my wife for something on the airwave.
Uh-oh.
So she told me that she saw this. This was at the Hawks. I said, "There's no way. It's at the stadium." She's like, "No, I saw it at the Hawks." I said, "No, you're crazy. It's going to be at the stadium." I was wrong. She was right. You are right. I called her crazy for saying. I said, "No, that's not where it's at. You read it wrong."
What is wrong with you?
I assume because you said it's the first time we don't see it over there ever.
You got
it's always on. It's in the stadium.
You'd be insufferable.
I said.
Well, I know you are.
She was wrong twice to her.
All right.
So I apologize.
All right. So what? I mean,
but by the way, 402-464-568. But we want you to call or text the show your thoughts on everything with Matt Rhule to Nebraska.
You're gonna want to know if he's gonna hire Mickey Joseph.
That is a big question.
That'll be a
fans
big question.
Want to know that.
You are gonna want to know. Now, this is the dicey kind of. I don't know how you're gonna get into this, especially with him at a podium in front of hundreds of people. If he wants to get into what the negotiations with Nebraska were like, why did there was this initial parting, I call it, then Nebraska came back. Why? I don't know. That's why these things can be kind of awkward, because you got to ask some kind of tough questions at this what's kind of has the feel of I don't know, like a party atmosphere almost, right? Right.
Okay.
Like, welcome to town.
Yeah.
Now we're going to ask you a bunch of tough questions. That's it. It's not a good situation. So you usually ask those off to the side, kind of after the ceremony. Lob him some softball questions up at the podium, right? I mean, I want to hit you. I mean, do you see what I'm saying? Now you're looking at me funny, but
do
you see what I'm saying? Do you hit him hard when he's at the podium?
What's wrong with hitting him hard?
Well,
maybe softballs to start and then harder questions.
Okay.
I mean, people are going to want to know about Mickey Joseph right away.
For sure.
And I'm curious what his response is going to be. If he was complimentary of Mickey Joseph on game day. He spoke highly of Mickey Joseph. He said he did a great job at Nebraska. Didn't say he was going to not have him on staff or try to retain him.
Right.
But that right now, for those who are out there and questioning the hire, a lot of that comes down to, is Nebraska going to keep Mickey Joseph? For those who don't like Rhule or are curious and skeptical, that's going to be their number one question, and they need that answered here soon.
I was surprised the amount of sort of disappointment I heard after the Rhule announcement was made, because I thought, okay, what I thought was Nebraska, I just say put him in the category of big time coach. Now, I mean, I talked to other people yesterday that felt, no, he's not a big time coach. He's not in the top 50. I don't know how you'd put him in a ranking of coaches.
Top 50, really?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, I think he is. I don't know where I'd rank him, but he's a name, right?
Oh, he's a name.
He proved himself at two separate places. He has that background of coaching. He coached he coached defensive line at three different places: Temple, UCLA, and I think Buffalo. Temple, UCLA, Buffalo. He coached the defensive line. He coached the offensive line with the New York Football Giants. So he's got a lot of. He's also coached linebackers. He's coached special teams, but I mean, he understands that trenches element. Oh, that's another question for him, by the way.
Yeah.
What is your plan?
What is both sides?
Yeah. Yeah. What is your plan?
Especially
offense. But I mean, like we said in the first hour, Jake, he checks a lot of boxes. That Trev on September 11th, I want to go through these real fast, if you don't mind.
Please go through the important dates.
No, it's not the important dates. It's the important boxes.
Dates and boxes are the same.
What's wrong with you?
Come on.
Elizabeth, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should feel bad for
her. So Trev, now remember on September 11th, what happened?
Yes.
He fired Scott Frost.
Yes, he did.
And in a 24-minute press conference during the course of that, a few times the media kind of tried to get from Trev, what are you looking for in the next guy? we got Fresh from Hickman, Jeremy in Texas.
Yeah,
What are you
hang
looking
tight,
for?
guys.
What are you looking for in the next guy? Well, he mentioned things like this. We want a program that's tough. We want to win the line of scrimmage. It's one of the first things Trev said. Jake, we want to win the line of scrimmage.
That's important in this conference. And
It
football in general. It should be important.
But especially in this conference.
In this conference, you need to win.
He said, do the fundamental things that team need to do to win games. Now, what I've been told about Matt Rhule is that he's very process oriented, and his approach daily reminds this coach, Jake Peets, of Nick Saban. You know Jake Peets, right?
I've heard that name.
Jake Peets.
Remind listeners who that is.
Offensive assistant with the LA Rams. He's from O'Neill, Nebraska. He's a former long snapper in Nebraska. He was called plays. He was a play caller at LSU in 221. Jake, I don't know if he'll be part of this staff, but he knows Rhule, and he says his level of detail reminded him. He worked for Rhule at Carolina. He says his level of detail reminded him of Saban. Jake worked for Saban in 2013 and 2018. Trev on September 11th said, I think great coaches are culture builders. Well, what did Rhule do at Temple and Baylor? Quickly established a winning culture.
Yep. Rough first year. After that, they had great years.
He said this, I think they're grinders. Trev said, I think great coaches are grinders. Okay. What I've heard about Rhule is he's very demanding. Very demanding. There will not be a country atmosphere at Nebraska. Okay.
That's fine by me.
In fact, some coaches would say he's overly demanding. It may be a little, sometimes hard to work for, which is fine with me.
Does it get results?
Right.
Does hard to work for get results?
Right.
Results
often
this
does.
Is results-based business.
Thank you.
It has to be.
Thank you.
It has to be.
Thank you for saying that's true.
If it hasn't been, or if it's not, then something's wrong here. It's a results-based business.
Trev has tried to foster that sort of culture in the athletic department. You know what Trev says? He puts it a slightly different way than you did. It's hey, you know what Trev says? We're in the competition business. He said that narrative somehow wasn't emphasized as much as it should have been. He said that to me in January, that we have to remember that everything we do, we have to do it with the thought in the back of our mind that we're trying to be elite. Okay. All right. By the way, Trev on September 11th also said this. Certainly resources won't be an impediment toward being the type of coach, toward having the type of coach we want to lead the Husker program.
$9 million per year would indicate that was correct.
He also said this applies to today. We're also not going to worry about winning the press conference. At the end of the day, we need to hire the right leader and right fit. And that's really important here. Now, you know what I think, Rhule? I mean, I've watched him on NFL Network. I watched him on Game Day the other day. I think he can win a press conference. He's got that sort of.
Absolutely.
He does have personality.
Yeah,
he does.
Oh, he'll be good today. He'll be really good at the press conference.
He'll come in here, and that's right. There'll be a jolt of energy. Now, I believe in that part of it, that this place needed a jolt of energy. Now, here come the Mickey fans, though. They're going to say, wait a second. Mickey Joseph provided a jolt of energy. He did. But I think we all knew it was going to be a fleeting jolt. I think it was going to be temporary. I think that became clear in the last few weeks. Am I wrong?
No.
I don't. Now, Mickey did a great job.
Mickey did a great job, yeah.
And capping it with that win in Iowa City, that's memorable.
Absolutely. And he can never forget that. That's a big part of his tenure here.
But I do believe that this program needed a jolt of energy. Mike Riley, the energy wasn't there. Tell me it wasn't.
No,
Tell me it
no
was.
Zip it all with Mike Riley.
No, Mike he had the energy of, it was like, man, I can't even believe I'm here. That was the sort of energy.
Wonderful.
Right.
Great.
Right.
Great.
But once you say that's
It
pretty
felt
accurate.
like that, yeah.
I can't even believe I'm at this job. It was that sort of energy. Frost, I think the energy was there initially, but it quickly got beaten out of him.
Well, 0-6 hurts.
Right.
Hurts
Right.
Scott Frost.
And I
Starting
think then COVID was a factor. Losing his father was a factor. And I mean, and at the end, the energy was just, it didn't seem like he liked the job. Garrett Nelson at Big Ten Media Days, Jake. Garrett Nelson at Big Ten Media Days. You know what he said? I just want to see Scott happy again. Garrett Nelson. That was
at
captain.
Media Days.
Yeah, remember
Media
that?
Day. I do. I recall it very vividly. I was there.
I just want to see Scott Frost happy again. I don't think he was having fun, Jake.
I don't think he was either.
So, energy. This I will say this about Rhule for all the detractors out there. He will bring a good, hard-nosed, upbeat, demanding energy. Okay? And you know what?
That should be embraced.
Absolutely.
Welcomed, embraced, encouraged, everything.
Yeah. I mean,
yes,
he's not going to come here. He's not going to come here. Well, he's got to come here to prove himself. Hungry, probably.
Yeah, he just got embarrassed in the NFL.
Just got fired.
You better hope that he's here to get back on track and say, I'm not that coach. That is not how I'm going to be defined as a head coach.
1-4 this year.
Well, this is a terrible tenure in general.
Booed lustily.
Yes. They couldn't score.
Booed lustily.
They could not score points.
Right.
The defense was not bad with Matt Rhule in Carolina. The offense was bad.
Mm-hmm.
No quarterback.
They ran him out of there.
They did.
So, yeah, he's probably going to be hungry to prove himself.
I hope so. Let's get some phone calls. 464-5685. Fresh in Hickman, you're up first on early break. Go ahead.
First off, I feel like this is a hire like Mike Riley was of Bo. Mike Riley was the exact opposite of Bo Pelini.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they kind of went in that direction with Matt Rhule here, just being opposite of Scott Frost, being someone who's going to build men of faith and loyalty and want the best for his players all the time and trying to build them in more than just football aspects and build them in everything to be better young men, which I think here in Nebraska a lot of people want to talk about winning now, winning everything else, but that's something that's definitely be a winning in life. And the second thing of this is for all the detractors of Matt Rhule, I don't believe that it necessarily has to fall on the head coach, for the shiny hire. Just some of the names you see thrown around for some of the assistants right now and some of the recruiting guys we're going to get. I think that's probably where he's going to get his winning, somewhere where he can be the leader and he can pass off some of that stuff to some of his assistants and just make sure that they're top notch. And hopefully we're going to pay the money to pay them. And if we can keep Mickey Joseph, it's just a higher bonus for all that. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for the call, Fresh. Appreciate the phone call.
Yeah, I'm trying to get an idea on this staff.
People are curious on the text lines, you might assume, with all the rumors going on. Glenn Schumann at Georgia, defensive coordinator. They're curious about him. He's got ties with Matt Rhule.
Never heard that. Haven't heard that.
I don't see that happening. He's the co-DC with Muschamp at Georgia.
Haven't heard that.
I don't see that happening. That's been a hot rumor on Twitter last night.
Well, hopefully we'll get that.
That'd be a nice one.
Yeah.
Listen,
we know this. The coaches all over the country can start making visits to prospects on Friday in home. Okay. Friday. So we'll know the staff here pretty quick.
Yep.
We'll know.
Yeah. This week.
Yeah.
This week will become very, very clear.
Yeah.
Jeremy in Texas, you're up next in early break. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, fellas.
Hey, Jeremy, how are you?
Oh, doing great. Hey, long-time listener, long-time texter, and first-time caller today. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Rhule. So being here in Texas and kind of connected with high school coaches all across the state, my phone, from the time we opened up the job, people were blowing my phone up, hey, y'all need Rhule. You need to get Matt Rhule. You want your program rebuilt and a strong Texas pipeline of high school kids, you need Matt Rhule. And my guy was climbing the whole time. I wanted him before Frost. I wanted him after this all had come down with Frost. But I can get behind the Rhule hire for sure. But I did want to point that out that he is well liked, well respected across the entire state. He was only here for 3 years, so he made a huge impact with coaching clinics across the state. And I think if he retains Mickey or not, there'll be a strong connection in the state of Nebraska. Once he puts a few clinics on up there, he'll have the respect and he'll have coaches there wanting to send kids to him. I have no doubt about that. But also, I wanted to ask about the Kleiman deal. Now that it's all kind of over with, Sip, is there anything you can share on that as far as any mutual interest between the two, any talks or anything like that you could share on that?
All I can say, Jeremy, is that I'm sure he was on the radar screen, but I don't think it. Now, Jeremy, this is just my read. And, I talked to a lot of people. I don't think it ever got all that serious. I don't ever think what I had heard, and I'll tell you this, Jeremy, since you asked, and I shared it on the air last week. What I had heard from a source was that it was going to be tough to pull Kleiman because they feel like that program at Kansas State is on a trajectory where they feel like they're not going to lose. They're going to always win about 8 and or more. And so you take that versus coming to Nebraska and wrestling this bear and maybe needing it 2 or 3 years to get it going. And that's a hard life there. That's a hard life compared to what they got at Kansas State. And I was told staff didn't want to try that they have something going.
Yeah, I got you. That makes sense. But all right, thanks for taking the call.
All right,
appreciate the phone
That's
call.
what I
Jeremy in
remember.
Texas.
That's what I had heard last week. That don't look for Kleiman because of that. Look what they did on Saturday night, right, against Kansas.
Yep.
They're
handled them.
They're very
Big 12 championship.
Yeah, that's a very stable program at this point. Why leave all that being and come to this?
I know. Well, we were just hoping that he would because we still believe Nebraska's bigger than Kansas State. That's why. It's the belief that that you're still a more respected, more recognizable program than Kansas State.
It is bigger. But do you see it from his side?
Oh, absolutely I get it from his side.
Absolutely. I mean,
the pressure is much lower at Kansas State than Nebraska.
It is.
The job is much smaller, but you can still have a great success at Kansas State.
And Jerry DiNardo said that Jerry DiNardo said that last night when they were doing, they do their final takes at the end of the final drive. And he said that Matt Rhule, the tough part of the Nebraska job is what? Expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they've been lowered, right? They've been lowered, but they're still high. I mean, so.
Well, yeah, we'll get to expectations in the next segment about Matt Rhule. What do you expect from him in year one? Obviously, we can tell long term.
How can you say what to expect?
Well, you're going to have probably another big roster turnover again.
Yeah, when you don't know who's going to be back. Again, I was hearing Saturday. Well, they lost Trey Palmer. I mean, right away.
Your star receiver is going to the NFL draft.
You lost a huge piece. You're obviously going to lose Vokalek. Okay. Huge piece, right?
Yes.
Yep. It looks like you're going to lose O'Shawn Mathis.
Who had a good game against Iowa.
Really good game.
He played well against Iowa.
Really good game against Iowa. And now we hear, and Sean Callahan wrote it the other day, you have to watch Garrett Nelson's situation. Man, you lose Garrett Nelson, O'Shawn Mathis, Vokalek, and Palmer. Come on, Jake. And are you going to get quarterback back?
Casey Thompson's not guaranteed.
Who's your quarterback?
I have no idea.
Okay, add Thompson to that foursome. That's a heart of your team, Jake.
Well, again, I mean, you're going to see some turnover at both Nebraska and Wisconsin. See a lot of people upset at Wisconsin about Jim Leonhard not being the guy. It's going to be both places. You always have turnover, for better or for worse, at these different schools when coaches get fired and coaches come in.
Jim Leonhard just kicked in the gut.
Do you think that
the gut? He was devastated.
Well, I'm sure he was. But you would ask the question, did he do enough to deserve the job full time?
It's a valid question.
I mean, again, like we said earlier, he lost to Iowa and Minnesota. He nearly lost to Nebraska.
And they looked bad.
They looked bad. I mean, yeah, they were not good. Not good this year. And Nebraska should have beat those guys. They really should have won that football game. They should have been 0-3 against that trio of teams.
And Minnesota got him. Right. PJ's 8-4.
I mean, if you're Chris McIntosh, the AD at Wisconsin, and you watch the final drive Wisconsin had, they got down to the 5-yard line, went backwards and backwards and backwards. False start. 5-yard line and got back to, I believe, the 25 or the 30. That's not Wisconsin football.
No, it's not.
They don't have crippling penalties back to back to back in the red zone to try to go tie a football game. It's not the Badgers.
And they came in here and tried to hand a game to Nebraska.
They did. And Nebraska just said, yeah, no, we don't want it. Take it. Up. Huskers led 14-3 in the fourth quarter. Lost 15-14. Pain. We want your guys' thoughts. You can still call or text 402-464-5685. More thoughts from you next on Early Break of the Ticket.
This is Lindsay Teal from the Nebraska golf team. If you're looking for a Christmas gift for the avid golfer in your life, don't give them something you can't even tell straight. Gift of indoor golf, Rhule Eagle Golf. Grab a gift card for a stocking stuffer or give the gift of a membership and let them golf all year long. Their space is also perfect for Christmas parties, corporate events, birthday parties, or anything else. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Life-changing research doesn't just take place in outer space. It's also happening right here in Nebraska, and you could play a key role. Solarion, one of the world's leading clinical research organizations, needs healthy adults who are 19 years old and older for a research opportunity. If you qualify, you could earn up to $500 a day for time and travel. Overnight stays may be required. To learn more, call Solarion at 866-213-2965 or visit helpresearch.com/500.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Bagels and Joe is happy to introduce the new Joe card. Get unlimited drip coffee from all 5 locations, including New Seward location, for just $8.95 per month. Start your mornings off right with a breakfast sandwich and unlimited coffee from Bagels and Joe.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
Tractor Supply Distribution Center in Waverly is having a hire event this Friday, December 2nd, and Saturday, December 3rd. Stop by between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Friday or from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturday to learn more about their opportunities for your next career. Interviews will be conducted both days. Wages grow up to $20 per hour. Make plans to attend Friday or Saturday at 12851 Dover Street in Waverly. And if you can't make it, you can always apply at tractorsupply.jobs or text Tractor DC to 25000. Tractor Supply for life out here.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? Worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides. Shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
A good game with good friends. But isn't it time to up the score when it comes to the food? Wings and Rings is here for every football fan. Catch the game on one of their big screens or snag a tailgate pack to go. They're picking up the heat and throwing in mad flavor this season. Stop by your locally owned Wings and Rings on O Street, Meridian Park, or 48th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village, or grab some crave-worthy Wings and Rings to go. Make them your go-to destination to watch your team bring home the win. Wings and Rings. Game time just got better.
The Heartland Diamond from Sartor-Heyman Jewelers was born from an unrelenting desire for more sparkle. Designed to shine as bright as your love, the difference between the Heartland and the traditional cut is clearly visible with the naked eye. By adding 32 additional facets, our skilled craftsmen have created a masterpiece, a diamond that truly reflects your passion and desire. Stop in and see the brilliance of the Heartland Diamond for yourself, exclusively at Sartor-Heyman Jewelers, a Nebraska tradition since 1905.
Holiday baking. Sounds fun, right? Except I really need a special kind of flour. And how much of a difference does it make if I use a different size pan? And the recipe says this should only take me 30 minutes to prepare, but I've been at this for 2 hours and it doesn't look anywhere close to anything edible. So what if this weekend you got your baking done for the entire season? Done. Beatrice Bakery is here for you with special prices from 25 to 40% off and free shipping on orders over $65 this weekend only from Black Friday to Cyber Monday. Check them out online at BeatriceBakery.com. Beatrice Bakery, welcome to our world of yum.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost it. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jake on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Once again, keep your calls and texts coming 402-464-5685. Watch and comment on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. This show sponsored by Gaina Trucking. We appreciate all the phone calls so far from all across the country.
Yeah, great calls, everybody. Thank you.
I want to get to expectations for Matt Rhule in a second. Before that, though, we had a caller wait through the break. We want to bring him on. We're joined now by Sebastian. Sebastian, good morning. You're on an early break. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, I'm glad for the new coach. Go Big Red!
Okay, Sebastian. Go Big
All right,
Red.
Sebastian.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Go Big Red. I think there's a lot of
Matt Rhule is already winning the kids over, you know?
Yeah, the kids are going to school today.
They are. Yeah, they are.
Appreciate Pay attention in your classes. You can read about Matt Rhule's press conference after school. Don't
pay attention all throughout.
You don't need to be on your phone
classes today.
Reading Sean Callahan, Sam, Damon, all the Twitter stuff.
See, Mark's got to see. He have earbuds in though.
Yeah.
See, that's cheating.
No,
no earbuds.
I don't even know how you do that.
He can listen to podcasts, Mark. He can listen after the fact to us.
Just pay attention. I mean, pay attention to everything. Geography.
Why is there no school today? Is it still?
Is there no school today?
Is it Thanksgiving break still?
No, there's school. There's school. Who's saying there's no school?
Mark says there's no school. And texters. There's no school today.
Oh, there is school.
Well, I'm seeing several people saying there's no school today on the text line.
Huh.
Mark's taking his daughter to school, I guess. Where is there no school?
Maybe
at?
some schools don't have it.
I had back-to-back texts. There's no school today. Where at?
What's Sebastian doing up so early then?
I don't know. I think he's going to school.
Seabass.
Yep. How do we assess expectations?
Look, why are we doing that? Why you don't know who's going to be on the roster? You don't even know who the quarterback's going to be. Why do we even?
When you're making $9 million a year and you're one of the highest paid coaches in college football, you don't have that luxury of patience.
That's a good answer,
right?
Yeah.
You don't get $9 million to go 3.
Hold on. Are you sure? What? No school for elementary only.
No, yeah, we have a bunch of texts coming in.
That's really weird, by the way.
Thank you.
Hey, now, hold on. Shouldn't there be a level of patience afforded Matt Rhule?
Okay, but what is the patience here? What's the level? What are we talking about?
Just patience.
Nebraska fans are going to expect a bowl game next year.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, they are.
Why?
6 wins. Because it's 6 wins.
Okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it this way. This team probably had the talent to be in a bowl.
Yeah,
come on.
They should beat Minnesota. They should beat Wisconsin. That's 6.
Well, how about Northwestern?
Northwestern finishes the season 1-11.
How about Georgia Southern? You're in that game. How about Purdue? Just give them two of those.
Right?
Give them 2 of those, right? Am I wrong?
Illinois, if you keep Casey Thompson healthy, I mean, they got beat handily, but they were leading when he got hurt in the game.
Okay, so I get where you're coming from on that count, but we just established they're going to lose a bunch of guys, Jake. So how do you assess that now?
Well, again, the question is this.
I'm saying patience, and you can't say.
However, pause. His first years at Temple and Baylor were terrible. I'm saying you can't have that type of year.
Why?
Nebraska fans aren't going to just. I mean, they're going to be freaking out. They go 1-11 though.
Forget the $9 million figure. That's not what this is about. You want him to build for the long haul, right?
I do.
You want him to establish a solid foundation, and if you don't want to compromise that because you're worried about Jake being pissed off in the morning that if you don't make a bowl game.
Well, how about 1-11 though? What he did his first year.
Whatever it is, it is. That's the way I look at the first year. Now, am I going to take some heat for that?
Probably.
I'm not going to do this. Come on. Now, are you really going to do this to Rhule? Say you make a bowl game in your first year or else.
What do I expect? I'm not saying I'm not going to fire him, but I'm saying we'd be disappointed. Yeah.
Well, of course you're disappointed.
Yes.
But you're also reasonable.
You don't fire him at 0-12. I mean, he's got a long-term deal here.
So but you're reasonable about it. I would just keep an open mind, Jake.
I want to see a team that gets better throughout the year.
Don't you want to see who the quarterback is before you make these assessments?
I do. But I don't want to have a throwaway season.
Well,
and he's had a throwaway season in his first year at both Temple and Baylor.
Why do you call them throwaway?
Well, the record was a throwaway season.
What that was though is we're building, and this is going to take a little bit here to get things established. I just had got done saying in the previous segment, Jake, Kleiman might have looked at this and said, that's a 2 or 3 year build. 2 or 3 year build. Come on. Now you got to be reasonable.
I am reasonable.
I don't know if you are in this.
I am. I would like a bowl game, but if he doesn't make a bowl game, I better see a team that is getting better throughout the season.
That's reasonable.
That's reasonable.
Okay. That's reasonable.
I think if you talk to most Husker fans, they're going to say we just want to make a bowl game. We're not asking for the division. We're asking for 6-6.
Doug chimes in. Doug on the text line. These young kids don't understand. Shut up, Jake.
Thank you, Doug.
Yeah. I didn't say shut up, Jake.
Shut up, Sipple. Shut up, Jake. Yeah, it goes with the show.
Yeah. Now listen. Yeah, I think you better tone that down a little bit. I'm a little shocked
by how sad that sounds still.
When I say tone it down.
For me, saying that 6 wins is unreasonable.
I'm not saying
it's pathetic.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I think
this is a rebuild, Jake.
It's my goal for next year is 6 wins.
Hold on. This is you would agree this is a rebuild.
I would.
This isn't Bo Pelini walking into talent like with Bill Callahan, right?
Correct.
Walking into Sue. There's no Sue over there.
I don't think it's ridiculous for me to expect him to be respectable next year.
I think that's reasonable to say it that way.
And respectable could be anywhere from 5 to 7 wins.
Yeah. I don't know.
How was that unruly or unreasonable for me?
Because you made it sound like an or else.
No, I said, hey, my expectation and goal is to get back to a bowl game. I didn't say 8-9 wins. I said 6 wins.
I would say that's an unreasonable expectation. Well, goal is one thing.
Expectation and goal are very similar.
They're not cousins.
Yes, they are.
No,
yes, they are. Mark,
they're not cousins.
Expectations and goals, are they cousins?
Fourth cousins.
No, they're not.
Third.
What the hell is
I'll
going
give you
on
third
here?
cousin.
First cousin.
Twice removed.
Not once removed. First cousin. Get a phone call.
All right, yeah, let's do it.
David, you're on early break. Go ahead.
All right, guys. You said reasonable.
Yeah.
First of all, the guy was hired 2 days ago. Well, we can't put expectations on that was hired 2 days ago.
Thank you, David.
First of all.
Thank you.
I mean, honestly, so secondly, the reasonable would be 6 wins is reasonable, too. But we can't
expect it.
Right.
We can say we can have a goal, but expectation is not the same.
Thank you for your.
If I expect my kids to brush their teeth, they better brush their teeth.
Right.
If I hope they brush their teeth, or the goal is to brush their teeth, I might not be so mad if they don't.
Right. You're not gonna.
So
you're not gonna fire him.
We can't expect this guy. Come on.
No, I thank you for
David.
Mature.
Okay, here,
response.
hang, pause.
Mature.
Hang a second. Ohio State, the goal and expectation is the same. National championship, right? Are they
That's
cousins
true.
there?
Yeah,
they're actually brother and sister.
Yeah,
there,
they're
aren't
brother
they?
and sister. Yeah.
So this changes
Bunk
wherever
bed.
they're bunk beds.
Bed. But it's a different situation. Like David said, the guy's 2 days on the job. Not even. He's a day on the job.
Welcome to
And you're
Nebraska.
saying get to a bowl? Come on. That's unreasonable.
You have a program that is starving for a
Hasn't
bowl
been
game.
to a bowl game since 2016, and now all of a sudden
Our bowl game this year was in Dublin.
he's
we were
gonna.
there.
I think he's going to tear this thing to its studs. Okay, I mean it's going to take a little bit.
Well, that's what happened at Baylor and Temple.
All right, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey's up next. You're in early break. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
Good, Jeffrey. How are you? You sound chipper.
Well, it's chipper, man. I never expect the unexpected, and I always just look at things as, well, this is just, what it is when it comes to Nebraska football.
Okay.
So I was actually listening to you guys when you were saying that going down the list, stating that these teams like Purdue and Wisconsin and the teams that we lost to, that we were in the game but we lost to, teams that we should have beaten. To say should have beaten, those are some mighty bold words, don't you think?
Yeah, Jeffrey. Yeah, no,
they're bold.
Yeah,
they're bold.
I mean, yeah, I get where you're coming from.
I mean, this is just like I hate to use this philosophy here, but just say if you're been with someone for 20 years and split up and you're devastated, you're broken. That's how those kids felt, knowing that, man, we got to go into our third game of the year and we don't have we got some changes going on here.
Right.
So I think my point, I think people. We just say, oh yeah, let's just roll with the punches and this and that and that and this. But I was reading, man. I love reading. I love reading. And there was so, I would like to give the old Nebraska faithful out there a big thumbs up, because I think there was like a good 70, 40 split here, or 60-40 split, however you want to look at it. That was hoping that Coach Joseph was gonna retain that head coach job there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at, I know Rhule's there, fine, $9 million. Well, that's a lot of money for someone who really doesn't have a great track record here, though, don't you think?
Good track record in college, Jeffrey.
Yeah, coaching is coaching, and the fact that the comments are, oh, just stick Mickey where he belongs. He belongs in recruiting.
Yeah.
Man, we're gonna lose a lot of recruits that came in.
Yeah.
That were from those places that we always wanted to go get boys from, and that was down south.
Right.
We had a lot of great recruits come in that redshirted this year. I thought we had the talent on the team, but hey man, all thing we do is look forward, right?
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you. Mickey, part of the discussion is very interesting, very challenging. We got John and Chris.
Nope, we got Chris next. Chris, you're up on early break. Go ahead.
Hey, great show. First off, I am upset that we waited too long and didn't get to pry Fickell. Man, that's a shock that Wisconsin got the best guy out there, because it was a weak field of candidates, and but we have no expectations for Frost. We're like, oh, we got to give him the full 5 years, tear down, build up, and that just kills you. These guys are paid $5, $6, $8 million a year. Okay. CEOs don't get even 3 years to turn a company around. CEOs get a year, And then like halfway into their second year, they're looked at, and they might even get fired after a year and a half. I'm not saying that those numbers go directly across to college football, but going into your third year, man, you want to be a good team. And it is. Last year TCU, last couple of years sucked. 12-0 this year.
Yep, that's right.
8 wins.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, just a horrible, horrible program, and we're a horrible program, and we're the worst program in college football right now. So Kansas turns right around. What is it? Connecticut went from one win.
Right.
One of those teams out there that Mora coaches went from one win to a bowl game.
Yeah.
They were 1 win last year. I don't want to hear any garbage about too high expectations. That's ridiculous. That's what we did with Frost. Look where it got us.
Perfect. Great call, Chris. Thank you.
Oh, this is a great call. This is a great call.
That's a great
really
call from Chris.
Oh, yeah, when they agree with you, they're the great call.
It's just spot on. You could have said any better if you tried. What great analysis from Chris. One last call before the game.
All these situations are different.
John,
unique.
You're up on early break. Go ahead, John.
Hey, good morning. Hey, how are you guys?
John, we're doing fine. How are you?
I gotta say, I think Trev hired the absolute best guy he could hire, and I'm really proud of the work that he did. That's the number one point. Number two, expectations of next year. We need not talk about that at all.
Okay. Smart man.
I think that some teams that have a coaching change or are looking to rebuild, maybe they don't have a quarterback or they're lacking depth here and there. We have to rebuild and nothing personal, one of the poorest offensive lines in college football.
Yeah.
And that is not a quick fix.
No,
absolutely not. You're right.
Come on.
Sure. I agree with that.
And I can't wait to see what they do. There's been some comments. What are you guys' thoughts on Mickey Joseph staying or not staying? And then I'll kind of listen to you. But have a great week, you guys. I know you'll be busy.
Thank you, John.
John, first of all, thank you for your reason. Now, so you got to figure out the offensive line. Have to get that going. That is not an overnight fix.
I didn't say it was.
Rhule doesn't come in, snap his fingers, and say, "Okay, here's the offensive line that we need."
I didn't say it was an instant fix.
You don't even know who the quarterback's going to be.
I don't.
So start with that. Offensive line needs a lot of work, and you don't know who your quarterback is, but get them to a bowl game.
How did Brett Bielema and Lance Leipold have
a little different situations?
Jim Mora,
little different situations.
Jim Mora isn't. How is that different?
Wow. UConn and Nebraska are in a little different kind of conference.
I know.
Well, UConn's not in a conference.
UConn was absolutely atrocious for 4 years.
It's a little bit different building at UConn.
Sure, they did.
An independent and building at Nebraska in the Big Ten. Little bit different.
Well, as we saw, this place was not a complete dumpster fire this year either.
It wasn't.
I mean, they nearly beat Minnesota. They nearly beat Wisconsin. They didn't lose by 5,000 points.
I don't understand what you're doing here. I'm surprised.
I mean, it's not like it's a complete teardown.
Well,
they've got some things going.
I think
for
it
them
is
here.
almost. It's going to be a teardown.
Well, we'll see what Matt Rhule says about that.
We'll see what he says.
We
about that.
have to play the game show right now. 464-5685. Call the Down Sip Trivia. Today's topic is conference championship games this weekend. Who is playing who?
Oh, don't do this to me.
It's not that hard.
Yes,
Think you know your games this weekend. Call us up 464-5685. Shut Up Simple starts right now.
We've all been there. You're listening to the radio, and then that rage starts to go inside of you. Start point blank to yell, "Stop!" No, sorry. I'm sorry. Well, here's your chance. It's time to shut up, Sipple. Call now to play 464-5685. Shut up, Sipple. Brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
Sip remains on a heater here. On a heater in the game show.
Yeah.
Shut up, Sipple. 464-5685. Call the Takedown Sip and Trivia.
I'm hot.
I think you went 2-1 last week, right? In your short week.
Hot.
We have David. David, how do you feel about conference championship games this weekend?
Horrible.
Wonderful. That's
I don't feel that good about it, John.
This is David.
David, I don't feel that good about it.
Expectations. I just called. You don't remember?
Yeah, how about that?
David.
All right,
Sorry,
David.
Thank you,
First
David.
question goes to you. Here we go. What team is Ohio in the MAC championship game on Saturday?
Buffalo.
No, I got it. Actually, Toledo. It's Toledo.
Toledo is correct.
That
on the
is
steal.
That is, by the way, Ohio's coached by Tim Albin, former Nebraska assistant.
Thank you.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I just, good little scoop there.
Tim Albin was a member of the Solich staff.
Replaced Frank Solich now at Ohio.
Yeah.
That's good.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that. Thank you for that nugget of news.
What is there? Is there a joke going on here? that I
No,
don't know
there's no
about?
joke. I just thought. Okay, sit for the 2-0 lead. What team is Tulane playing in the AAC championship game on Saturday?
These are layup. UCF.
There's, of course, your layups. It's teams playing for championships. Shouldn't be that hard. To stay alive, David, last question. What team is Coastal Carolina playing in the Sun Belt Championship on Saturday?
Arizona State.
Oh, boy.
I have no clue, bro.
Thank you.
That's okay, David.
That'd be Troy. Arizona State is still in the Pac-12, not in the Sun Belt.
Good job, though.
Give you a big
Seriously,
one to copy,
thank
though,
you for
David.
calling, David.
Thank you. I want to know start the week for you. Want your last one?
Yes.
What team is Boise State playing in the Mountain West Championship on Saturday?
Fresno.
It's on a heater.
No.
It's on a heater. Well, that was a blowout win today. Nice job.
Thank you. Yeah, just the camera.
I'm not getting the kiss for you. So, well done. 1-0 starts the week.
Yeah, I think that's Mark. What's it say on the board there? 42 and 19. 43.
Oh, it's
43.
He can't
and
be
19.
stopped.
I am. Who am I? John Calipari?
Yeah.
Am I?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
John Wood.
Am I Bruce Pearl?
Bruce Pearl is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You like Bruce Pearl. Let's be Bruce Pearl.
Or am I Jim Am I just Jim Harbaugh?
Well, who do you like better, Bruce Pearl or Jim Harbaugh? You like Bruce Pearl, though. You do.
I do like Pearl. I like those teams. That Auburn team last year was wow. I don't know what they got this year.
Hey, Nebraska won a game last
How
night.
about that?
Florida State is dead. They're 1-7. What happened
Give
to Florida
Nebraska
State?
some credit.
I am. They play well, but what happened to Florida State?
Florida State's got injury problems and a player suspension, and they can't play the kind of defense that Leonard Hamilton wants.
You played him at the right time.
Yeah, you played him a good time.
The spillover with Raf and AD is next on early break in the ticket.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new ones in sales, traveling, web design, with a focus on growth, innovation, and technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Another packed fall sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. For November, they have tons of fall seasonals, and you can check out their Oscar Blues, Nebraska Brewing Company, and Broken Bat Brewing Company selections as their beers of the month. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And get top-notch crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, or one-stop beverage stop at 1801.
Work Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
You spend a lot of time on your feet. At work, at the gym, on the golf course, it can be exhausting. Are your feet as comfortable as they could be? Brown Shoe Fit delivers all the sizes and widths that you can imagine and that most other stores can't compete with. If you're looking for a specific brand, they have it. New Balance, Brooke, Keen, Clarks, Echo, Rockport, many more. All sizes, all widths. Stop trying to squeeze into your shoes and sacrificing comfort. Find your next pair of shoes for any endeavor at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Holiday baking. Sounds fun, right? Except, do I really need a special kind of flour? And how much of a difference does it make if I use a different size pan? And the recipe says this should only take me 30 minutes to prepare, but I've been at this for 2 hours and it doesn't look anywhere close to anything edible. So what if this weekend you got your baking done for the entire season? Done. Beatrice Bakery is here for you with special prices from 25 to 40% off and free shipping on orders over $65 this weekend only from Black Friday to Cyber Monday. Check them out online at beatricebakery.com. Beatrice Bakery, welcome to our world of yum. You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? The worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish, and don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food to me. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
The most innovative ag technology that exists today on display in one place at the Nebraska Ag Expo. Autonomous and robotic equipment, precision ag, commodity marketing gurus, and more. All in the brand new Innovation Hub at the Nebraska Ag Expo. Come check it out December 6th, 7th, and 8th at the Lancaster Event Center in Lincoln. Register online at nebraskaagexpo.com to get your tickets in advance and save $5. The Nebraska Ag Expo is sponsored by Farm Credit Services of America and Ag Direct.
Are you looking for a solid, stable career in assembly, CNC machining, or injection molding? We got you covered. Hi, Bob Williams, HR Director for Garner Industries, a world-class manufacturer with a 70-year history right here in Lincoln. And I just listed some great career opportunities that you can find by logging into GarnerIndustries.com. If you want top pay, excellent benefits, flexible work hours, and the opportunity to work in a clean, modern, air-conditioned facility with great people, contact me today by applying online at GarnerIndustries.com.
I'm not on drugs. I'm not drunk.
Is Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is time for the spillover. AD joins us. Been an entertaining show so far. A lot of phone calls, as you would expect, as Nebraska hires Matt Rhule. Press conference today, 1:30. We will be there.
This is coach number 6, AD. Welcome to the show. Welcome to your show.
Yeah, if you're watching the stream,
welcome to your show, AD.
AD appears to be a coach today.
AD Dapper.
Professor AD.
Dapper. I've never seen this.
Glasses
AD.
on, got a jacket going on.
Yeah, glasses are fake. Just look this guy. I don't need these suckers. I can use these for welding or read what you matter.
I love it.
You're going for an image.
It helps to look.
You look smarter.
I honestly ordered these. They're called blue somethings.
Yeah.
to help with the screen
Yeah.
glare.
Uh-huh.
Nah, I can't tell.
They don't do anything. It's just for looks.
I can't tell a bit of difference, man.
Anyway, so you were saying before you came on, it's all kind of overwhelming, all the news. But
It was like trying to drink from a fire hose.
Yeah.
Trying to consume and just kind of go through everything that was going on. I mean, coaches firing, coaches resigning. Obviously, the boy when we got here, Coach Rhule, new coach here now. Nebraska beating
Iowa.
Iowa at Iowa for the first time in 7 years. I mean,
yeah, and it's going to keep coming because there's going to be a lot of player movement, AD.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of that.
Yes.
We're going to find out. I mean, we found right away, we find out Trey Palmer off to the NFL declares. Palmer was magnificent against Iowa.
He was.
And the game plan was fascinating to me to come to find out that the game plan we're attacking Iowa through the air.
Mm-hmm.
And they attacked them. And they, because they thought that Iowa couldn't run with Trey.
Well, you look at some of those corners that were on him. It was like, well, one kid was a freshman.
Well,
and the other guy had gotten hurt prior to that, was trying to
Cooper DeJean.
DeJean. And then so that his backup couldn't couldn't handle it.
No, it was exposed. And I'm going to tip my hat to the O-line to give to give Casey time to get the ball.
Thank you.
They did have a good game.
Thank
you. They played all
Thank
right.
you for saying
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's definitely worth mentioning. Didn't get much done on the ground.
No.
And see, this is where I get I think these conversations are interesting. Whipple gets a lot of criticism. But if you're Whipple going into this game and you're thinking we're not going to be able to run on them, we got to be very aggressive throwing the ball downfield.
Yeah.
That was the game plan. Now, people always say, come on, you got to run the ball. In this conference, you got to run the ball. And what Whipple has said, all right, I mean, my job is to put points on the board. Okay. My job is to put points on the board. This is what Whipple did. Whipple walked into this situation here where the offensive line suspect.
Yeah.
He has to do what he has to do. Why you look at me like that?
I'm not.
He has to do what he has to do, right? Right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
I agree. And he did against Iowa. They tried to run the ball a little bit. It didn't work.
Now, it's easier for me to stand here and say that stuff after a W.
Well, the numbers don't lie, though. I mean, how many yards did we rush for in that game?
51, AD.
Yeah.
35 carries, 51 yards. So if you're Whipple, we're just going to keep hammering the ball into the line and what?
And one of the best defenses in the country at that. as far
Anthony
as that
Grant
goes.
had 14 carries for 6 yards.
Instead, you have this weapon that they can't run with.
Can't stop him. Couldn't stop him.
I don't know. I'm very interested in the conversation, the Trey Palmer, the NFL conversation. I think he's going to have to be more physical.
I think with Trey, physicality, but also he's going to have to make sure he's catching with his hands rather than his body, because that's not going to fly in the NFL. There were some drops that he had this year. Now, everybody has to, but when you're talking about first round, those are drops you just don't make.
He's good.
The Minnesota game was rough for Trey, and Illinois was rough for him.
Don't get me wrong. The kid, look at what he did against Purdue and Iowa. He took over games. Now that doesn't happen. That's hard to do. Right. It's interesting though. I just think there's a couple things where if I were, in his camp, I'd say, okay, you got to get a little more physical.
Yeah.
And because it's physical in that big league, right?
corners
Corners and safeties are physical.
They're physical, and a lot of those corners and safeties. Now you figure that huge change of body types that's happened in 10 to 15 years in the pros. Those corners now are 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", long arms, physical, will beat you up. Yes, and if they get their hands on you, it's a wrap.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So a guy like Trey, where you have a corner that just as fast as you are, if not faster, that physicality part's going to improve. But those are things that you can teach, though, too. He gets around the right people in the right camp. He can work on.
Well, I'm glad we're talking about the Iowa game. You talked about on Saturday. I listened to you on Saturday. You were jacked up, and it was an amazing scene in Iowa City.
Man.
You were there.
A lot of people I've talked to were jacked up. Seeing those kids. I mean, I'll never forget the sprint to the trophy. Those kids sprinting to that side of the end, to that one end zone.
That was kind of their bowl game, right?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of was.
And it was a lot of different kids. Like it was Garrett leading the charge, but there was offensive lineman. There was Tommy Hill. There was this unadulterated joy.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful to see after this season.
It was beautiful to see that. And I said at the house, and it was literally, I just put my head down, like, I was so glad those kids got something. Now, there's some people out there saying, well, it's just whatever the name of the trophy is.
Heroes trophy.
It's a heroes trophy.
It's more than that, man.
I said a bunch of kids who have never had a winning season, have never won anything in the 6 years they've been there. That's a major accomplishment
not
for
pouring
those
cold
kids.
water on
Yeah, I was
they
so
have not
pumped
had
for
a
'em.
signature win. This was it.
None.
I mean, you kept Iowa from winning the division. You
Absolutely.
did. That was you.
Absolutely.
On their field, on their senior day.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling Jake earlier,
Mhm.
there's a lot of games over the course of 30 years that I don't even remember being at. Like, I just don't. I mean, you
Mhm.
probably understand at your
Right.
age. This game, I will never forget.
Right.
I'll
Right.
never forget it. I'll never, ever forget that day. It was amazing.
They led
Jumping up on, 24-0.
24-0.
Oh boy.
24-zip at Iowa.
And then I was thinking, here we go again.
As they were blowing the game.
Yeah. Wait, did any of you have some?
Yeah. Oh,
some
how
theory?
could you
bit.
not?
Not as much as you did, I don't think.
I did.
I had a lot.
Because the clock. There just wasn't enough clock.
But they had a pretty.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I thought the clock just was working against Iowa
Yeah.
so much.
And they had
They went-
timeouts.
They went
Right.
90
Right,
yards
right.
in
Yeah.
2:45 of time. That was why I was like, this is not good.
Well,
The non-quick strike
fumble.
offense
Hey,
had.
the Ramir Johnson fumble.
Yeah, that was bad.
That's when I thought.
Oh.
And they held him to a field goal, though. That was huge. They held him to a field goal. there.
Yeah. That made it 24.
Because if they scored a
17.
touchdown, they're down by 3, 24-21.
Still, it's still one score. So
Yeah, but it's.
I thought they were happy to kick that field goal almost.
Iowa was.
Well, I mean,
I took it as a huge win for Nebraska. That was
I
a field
didn't.
goal there.
I didn't.
Huge win.
I didn't take it as a huge win because it was still one score.
Yeah,
game.
but it's a touchdown versus for a team
True.
that struggles to score touchdowns. That's huge.
That's true.
That's why
true.
I said this is big.
Anyway, I started getting a little nervous. But when they got the ball, when Iowa got the ball with a minute left on deep in their territory, I thought, no way, they don't have the quarterback to get down the field.
And this is just calling it is what it is. Neither one of them. I mean, I had never watched Iowa play an entire game this year.
Okay.
Just kind of watch a quarter or two. I'm like, oh yeah, these guys aren't good as far as quarterback play. This has got to be the worst quarterback play I've ever seen from Iowa before. Now, and that's saying a lot. I mean, they've had some guys who were just serviceable with the guys but I mean, neither one of them.
I think
Petrus looked bad.
Spencer Petrus and Alex.
Didn't he end up with 5 touchdowns this season? Petrus?
I don't know what his final number
6
was.
is the absolute most. He had 5 or 6 touchdowns the whole year.
The entire
Petrus.
year.
And Padilla had 1 touchdown throw?
Yeah. Well, listen, all I need to say is that Padilla was a distant number 2 to Petrus. So I say no more.
Wow.
Okay. Now, I mean, he's the number 2 behind
Right.
a suspect number 1.
Right.
And the suspect number 1 was quite
When Petrus
quite
went
a
out
bit,
with injury.
quite a bit ahead of Petrus.
Mhm.
When Petrus was out with injury, he was 1 for 6 for 9 yards before he got hurt.
Okay.
1 for
Now,
6.
in adding to that, Iowa doesn't have much at receiver, and they were out. They didn't have Sam Laporta.
Right.
Laporta is their best player on the team.
Right.
Lachey was pretty good, though.
Lachey-
He
Luke Lachey-
played a heck of a game.
Luke
70
Lachey's
catches,
good.
89 yards. And
Yeah,
touchdown.
he hurt us at some crucial times too. Yes.
Yeah, Luke Lachey's
Right.
good. He's no Sam Laporta.
No, he's
Sam,
not.
Sam Laporta is their all-time tight end receiving leader, and he didn't play. They're also without Monty Pottebaum, their fullback. But I was just Iowa. See, I don't want to do this too much, but Iowa, it looked like they freezed up to me. But Nebraska hit them. I mean, Nebraska came out and hit them.
You know,
and Iowa just responded poorly.
I was impressed, and you're spot on. They responded poorly. In our defense,
defense,
dude, they were going. I mean, all over the place on Saturday in crucial times. Now they gave up some, and that's going to happen. But
What about that long run?
Yeah. That hurt.
Caleb Johnson.
How many sacks do we have overall?
We had 3 sacks.
3 sacks, and a lot of pressures. How many pressures did O'Shawn have? Does it say on there?
Doesn't say anything.
Yeah, O'Shawn. I think O'Shawn had 5 or 6 pressures. O'Shawn Mathis showed up.
He played a heck of a game.
He did.
He played a heck of a game. Caleb Tanner played a heck of a game.
Yep.
Thought Hartstog played good. Number 5, I always pronounce his name, that filled in for Reimers. Matuga, number 5.
Maga Clemens.
He had 7
Clemens,
tackles.
yes.
He had a sack.
Very active.
Yes.
2 tackles for loss.
There were just guys who just stepped up.
Mathis had 3 quarterback hits.
Okay.
Wow.
And he had no sacks, but
he was in the backfield.
He was at
a
3
lot.
tackles total game.
Hey, that defense played really well.
They did. Caleb Tanner played a heck of a game as well. Chased the guy down.
Yep,
What
13
Bill
yards
Bush did,
sack.
hey, what Bill Bush did with that defense, and that is a pure. When you say the words "coaching matters,"
yeah.
Ooh, did we see that? Didn't we?
Did
Didn't we see that?
We really did, man.
Coaching matters.
We really
But
did.
what he said, go back to when Bill Bush took over. He said it was just alignment was most of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's simple. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that they could be this much better just off of alignment. I mean, what was going on? With
come
the
on.
coaching
We
before
talked
that?
about it. Was, he simplified it. Yeah, pre-snap stuff.
Pre-snaps. He got rid of a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, Chenander was trying to do a lot of pre-snap stuff, a lot, And his thinking, I'm sure, was we got a lot of veterans. The staff has been together for a long time. We can afford to make this a little complex. But but you saw it. Now, do you remember early in the season? We saw this. It's ingrained in my mind against North Dakota, against Northwestern.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys before the snap. You could see confusion.
Yeah.
You saw
They
guys with their hands
They
up.
weren't even set yet. I mean, just had no idea what was going on.
Right. You saw a lot of when you see a defense out there waving their arms,
Right.
not set at the snap of the ball. That's trouble. And what Bill said is we're going to be in our stances at the snap. We're going to be ready to go.
They just look better. They just
Yeah.
a
They
better
look more organized.
Not many big plays against them. I mean, the
Right.
Johnson run was unfortunate, but other than that, they have not had many big plays.
They haven't. It's been fun. It was fun to see it, man.
God, it was fun that
And we watched again the Michigan game. They had all these long plays against Ohio State where Nebraska gave up nothing against Michigan. One decent run.
Ohio State gave up 5 plays of 45 plus to Michigan. 45, 5.
Rhule.
2 runs. Oh, well, hey. 3 of those were 60 plus.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
60 plus
The last
yards.
2 big ones were long.
Yeah.
Edwards, both of them.
I didn't realize that. That's a lot.
I cursed another defensive coordinator from Ohio State.
Yeah, you and your whole Jim Knowles.
Jim Knowles. It's my fault. I brought him down. It's my fault.
There was only
I take
one.
100% blame.
There was only one big Jim in that game.
It was Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
The other Jim had a rough go.
Man, Harbaugh's got it going.
I tell you what. Well, Ryan Day, he's got here for a whole year again.
Yep.
We better win that bowl game.
He better win that bowl game because I was reading on online. There are some fans that not like Stroud's comment. It's like it's just one game does not define us.
Yeah,
and there were fans that went nuts. Like, what do you mean? Blah,
This
blah,
is
blah, blah.
the game. It's called the game. TJ
with a capital T.
Yeah,
the capital
Yeah.
T.
That's the one I look forward to. All right, fellas, we'll pass it off to Raph and AD for the drive. It's been fun. For Steve Sipple, I'm Jake Sorensen. See you.
Look at your car. It's filthy and probably has a few dings and nicks